You owe everyone a favor. Watch the population rise. And if you want them to like you more, that only costs you who you are. Keep away from the ground. Live in the clouds. To the ones who like us. Release bounds. I've been thinking lately about the writing on the wall. How I died for your approval. Like this for far too long. It's like a nightmare. Doing what you want, just like a nightmare. It's such a nightmare. Trying to keep everyone happy, just a nightmare. Keep away from the ground. Live in the clouds. To the ones who like us. Release bounds. Have you ever felt this free? Like I am you and you are me. It's such a nightmare. Trying to keep everyone happy, just a nightmare. Keep away from the
If it's Thursday, it's time for Mystic Racing League. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp in the Slingshot TV booth. We're getting ready to bring you live racing action for race number 2 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series Playoffs, live from Atlanta. The 1.5-mile track was opened back in 1960, and according to some, most of the work on this $1.8 million project was done at a breakneck pace within just weeks of opening day. On July 31st, 1960, 25,000 people turned out for the first race, the Dixie 300. Legend Fireball Roberts won that first race, and many other household names like Earnhardt and Gordon have visited Victory Lane. The Speedway has hosted more than just races, though. 6 weeks before Woodstock, back in July of 1969, more than 100,000 people, who didn't look much like stock car race fans, journeyed to the track for the Atlanta International Pop Festival, which hosted artists like Led Zeppelin, Janis Joplin, and Creedence Clearwater Revival. Dale Earnhardt reigned supreme at AMS with a record-breaking 9 Cup wins. Dominance surpasses legends like Yarborough and Labonte. Back in 1997, the track was reconfigured to include a dogleg, like SMI's other 1.5-mile tracks. And then just in 2022, the track was reprofiled with more banking to produce the exciting races akin to Talladega and Daytona, including the spectacle of a potential big one. Chris, fun fact for the night. There's a spot just beyond the track where an old church cemetery sits in a grassy field. Its tombstones are a counterpoint to the energy and intensity that we're going to see here tonight. These MRL drivers are hoping their cars don't end up in a graveyard at the end of the night. What are these drivers going to have to do to avoid that fate?
Well, Ellis, it is a new version of Atlanta Motor Speedway, but the fast speeds, they remain. It races like a super speedway now, but handling might be an issue tonight with these tighter corners than Talladega and Daytona. In recent years, we've seen 3 wide photo finishes. Will we see another one tonight? I wouldn't count it out at all. 135 laps around here, 45 laps for a tank of fuel. Stage breaks at lap 30 and 60 with one quick repair that these drivers very well might need if they're going to be around at the end of this thing.
Those tires, that fuel, that quick repair, the big one, all going to be a story that we follow here in the pre-race in just a moment. But before we get to those pre-race stories and the points, it's time for everyone's favorite pre-race tradition. Folks, rise and remove those caps if able. We'll be right back on the other end of the national anthem. Back here live in Atlanta, Georgia, getting ready for race number 2 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series Playoffs from Atlanta. 135 laps coming up here shortly, but before we get that green flag, we'd like to set some stories for the fans watching at home tonight. If you've tuned in, we appreciate you. We're glad you found us, but the biggest story really are the point standings. Chris, this is a playoff-style series. They run the final 7 races similarly to how the NASCAR Cup Series runs their own playoffs. Elimination style with 3 separate rounds. Last week, first race kicked us off at Richmond. Jacob Cochran won it. You can see him denoted as being locked into round number 2. How difficult is it to advance through these rounds, and who do you have your eyes on tonight who really needs a good night?
Yeah, Ellis, I'm looking at everybody south of Evan Janik, really. None of those guys are safe, especially on a track like this, Atlanta Motor Speedway, with the drafting effect and the possibility of getting caught up in a big crash. I'm going to have my eyes on some of those drivers beneath the cut line, Ellis. Zach White, Brett Wren, Reggie Kime, Caleb Hunt. I'm definitely going to be watching those guys tonight. And, at the end of this thing, I wouldn't be a bit surprised at all maybe to see one of them in victory lane. And for one of them, and even those guys that are also above the line that are really close, this is a big opportunity race for them. It's an opportunity to get yourself tore up tonight, but it's also a great opportunity to gain a lot of points on some drivers who might find some trouble. So, going to have our eyes on these bubble drivers all night tonight.
Speaking of trouble, that puts us to the stories, the 4 stories to follow tonight. The first one is trouble. Atlanta in recent years has become notorious and synonymous with the big one, something we're used to talking about at Talladega and Daytona. But tonight, we're in Atlanta and we're talking about a big one, Chris. How does it happen, and can you avoid it?
Yeah, there's some things that you can do to make it easier, but, you still got to have lady luck on your side. Might see some drivers fall to the back of the field early on, and not necessarily drivers who are maybe looking to avoid the big one, but I think that tires might be an issue tonight. The drivers that race hard in the midst of the pack, some of the drivers I was talking to before we came on the air tonight said that those right fronts were kind of giving up over the course of a run if you race really hard in the pack with all that dirty air on your nose. We might see some drivers fall to the back to save tires, and at the same time try to avoid the big one in the same job there.
And then really part of what causes the big one is the nose to tail side by side drafting, and really draft partners are going to be important tonight, whether it's on the racetrack with who's pushing you or who you're pushing, or who you come down pit road with if there happens to be a green flag stop. Do these drivers have partners? Do they know who they're working with headed into these 135 laps tonight?
Yeah, they definitely do. I'm looking at, some of the drivers and some of the teams that we know of right here. 5-Star Racing, we know they're going to be tough to beat. Aaron Espy's team, we know they're going to be tough to beat as well. Christian Barnes and Gavin Henson are teamed up. We got some very, very potent combinations out there, great teams. And yeah, we're definitely going to be watching those drivers try to hook up. But at the end of the day, it's every man for himself in the closing laps.
Every man for themselves, and that's probably the mantra for all playoff drivers at this point. You mentioned it. If you are a playoff driver, what are you thinking tonight? If you're someone, who's 5th, 6th, 7th, who's inside the playoff window or the bubble, but you can't afford a bad night, how willing are you to push it early, or are you just trying to make it out of here with a top 10 finish and just carry on to the final race, the final round next week?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. Do you go for those stage points, or do you try to make sure you're around at the end of this thing? Some drivers might give up stage points tonight, Ellis, to make sure they are around at the end of this thing, whereas some drivers might be aggressive all night and try to get max stage points to put themselves in a better position next week. So strategies galore tonight. It'll be very interesting to see what transpires.
We left that second story for now. Upset winners. Let's go ahead. All 3 of us are going to kind of throw our picks out there for tonight. I'm watching Reggie Kime in that number 9. He's a driver who's on that playoff bubble. He needs a win tonight. Tonight might be one of his best chances of the season. Keep an eye on that driver number 9. 11 top 10 finishes this season. Tonight might be a chance to convert that into a top 5 and maybe even a win for the playoff driver.
Yeah, I'm going to have my eyes on Adam Holson tonight. We know that he knows his way to victory lane. He's got a pretty good gap. He's got a pretty good margin right here. So I'm definitely going to be watching him, and I think that he might be a driver that might find himself in victory lane and lock himself into that next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm
All
going
right.
with the 16-18 of Aaron Espy tonight. Definitely another upset winner out of the playoffs, but been showing a lot of speed here lately, and we're definitely, that's who I think is going to win it.
All right, 3 picks are in. Let's talk about the starting lineup for tonight. Christian Barnes, he's been on a heater in the NASCAR Cup Series for the Mystic Racing League. He's going to be starting from the pole with 4 consecutive wins over in that series. Zachary King starting second in the number 1. Zach White third in that 77 machine. He's a playoff driver to keep an eye on. Chris's pick, Adam Holston, starting 4th in the number 8. Alex Pollock, another driver who needs a win tonight, could bring home the checkered flags from 5th position. Casey Bristow, very fast in practice, newcomer to MRL, going to be starting 6th in that number 7. Brett Wren, the 24, we're going to be watching his heart rate. Maybe this driver can get a win tonight to lock himself in the playoffs. Douglas Wasaki starting at his outside. Evan Janik going to be coming from 9th tonight. He's the points leader outside of Jacob Cochran. And then Reggie Kahn, my pick, starting 10th.
Yeah, on the inside of row 6, we've got David Moyer right here, a driver who's looking to get a win on the season right here. Joshua Gillen trying to punch his ticket to the next round of the playoffs. He's one of those bubble drivers we'll have our eyes on all night long tonight. Next row right here, starting in 13th position, we've got Harold Tucker in the Sofa News Machine. And on his outside, Johnny's pick, Aaron Espy in that number 16. He'll be a fast driver to keep your eyes on all night tonight, too. Derek Jewett, we know he knows how to win on super speedways. He's going to roll off from the 15th position. And on his outside, we have David Wallace in that 08. Not many starts this season in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Gavin Henson is going to roll off from the 17th position right there in that 39 machine. Another driver looking to get his first win on the season. And on his outside, a newcomer, Justin Miller in the 95. On the inside of row 10, we've got the 03 machine of Stephen Gill. He's going to start 19th. And on his outside, Caleb Hunt. Caleb's looking to gain some points this week, and recover from some misfortune last week. And on the inside of the 11th row, we've got Jacob Cochran, last week's winner, and some guy named Ellis Thomas starting on the outside.
Oops, I accidentally registered as driver. Sorry, Aaron Espy, I took your number. Hey, I think it might be a good opportunity to hear from one of our driver picks, Reggie Kime, who's going to be starting inside the top 10 in that 10th position. Let's see if we can't get Reggie to the broadcast booth. Hey, Reggie Kime, it's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy in that 9 machine.
Yes.
Hey, man, well, you're my pick for tonight. You are a driver kind of right on the threshold of the playoff round number 1. Tonight might be a great opportunity. We've seen 11 top 10s out of you this season. What do you make of your chances tonight to get to victory lane here in Atlanta?
I'll let you know in about half the race. It's a lot slicker than it was in the trucks, that's for sure. I mean, you can't go full throttle all the way around. Well, trucks you couldn't do it really in the tri-oval, but yeah, in the corners you can't do it all the way here. So just hopefully stay out of trouble and bring it back.
Who are you going to be working with tonight?
I'll find that out later also.
So no scheduled dance partners at the moment, man. We're going to let you get locked in. We'll be keeping an eye on that number 9 machine tonight. Good luck out there, Reggie.
All right, thanks. You guys have a good night also.
Thank you. All right, so you heard from Reggie Kime, Chris. 2 laps to go. Drivers kind of getting gridded up, getting locked in. If you're the crew chief on top of that pit box right now, for any of these drivers in the field, what words of wisdom do you have to offer as we close in on the green flag of race number 2 of these playoffs?
I'm going to go to the words right there of Reggie Kime to start things off, Ellis. He mentioned it. You can't go wide open around here. And, sometimes you get lulled into thinking, hey, super speedway style of racing, I'm going to be wide open, foot to the floor the whole way around right here. I'm going to be telling my driver, be patient. Try to look after those tires, especially considering how slick it sounds like it is out there tonight. And be on the lookouts for other drivers who are maybe trying to run it wide open and are trying to go a lot harder than what they should. That's going to be something to keep our eyes on tonight. And I'm very interested to see how this all works out right here. And Zach White's going to be leading them to the green flag, Ellis.
Yeah, Zach White, we had Christian Barnes pull off. Zach White leading them to the green flag. We got about another lap or so before we come to that green flag. Fans, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. We already got folks in the chat. Brett Wren, we got back from last night. Joshua Gillen say his pick to win is the number 10. and was saying he's rooting for the number 10 because of the Baja Blast. Got to love some Baja Blast, folks. It is going to be an exciting night of racing. And Chris, just to confirm, we are not about to go green, are we? Got one more lap. I think we were running 3 tonight. We're going to, oh, no, we're going. Let's go ahead and lock this thing down. Pace car makes that long trip down pit lane. It's going to be on Zach White, that 77 machine, to get him going. We are under the green flag for the first time tonight in Atlanta. Race number 2 of the MRL playoffs is underway. Zach White gets off to a good start. Zachary King and that blue number 1 to his outside. Looks like a helping hand of Alex Pollock all up the back bumper of Zach White through turns 1 and 2. Now down onto the backstretch for the first time tonight.
Yeah, seems like that organization is down there on that inside line. They're leaving that number 1 machine, the Whiplash SimCams machine of Zachary King, out to drive. But King is kind of hanging in there without much help. I think that might be good news tonight as Alex Pollock thinks about going to the top side, and looks like he's looking to the inside right here.
Alex Pollock to the inside. That is a battle for second place. The 22 trying to make good on that momentum. Down through turns 1 and 2. Now on the backstretch, side by side. It's King and Pollock. We'll see what happens as they move into turn number 3. Pollock draws to the back bumper of Zach White. Side by side, Pollock slides up the track just a little bit, Chris. You called it there. This is something we've been worried about. Drivers are concerned with the push up the track through these corners.
Yeah, definitely going to be a story to keep our eyes on all night. Another story right now is that 79 machine, the Sofa News car. That thing is up there, the second car on the outside lane right behind Zachary King. And it looks like it's struggling with connection issues right here. And on a super speedway style track, Ellis, that is very, very nerve-wracking for some of the drivers who are around him. Looks like it's kind of settled itself out right here. Harold Tucker is giving room to his competitors, and his competitors are giving room to him, it looks like.
Tucker started 13th on the grid. I think he's glad to get to the inside. That seems to be where the momentum is, at least for the moment. But that 1 of Zach King, he's hanging tough. Big moment for the leader. 77 of Zach White wiggles back and forth in the middle of 1 and 2, gathers it back up. He's good. 1 car pulls off the track. That's Harold Tucker, maybe related to those connection issues we were just talking about. Now they head down into turn number 3 and 4, and it's 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. First through 8th, Chris, that 77 is struggling with handling.
Yeah, it does look like he's struggling a little bit, and the handling issues are just exacerbated by that car that is really close behind you right here. We're going to go back right here and see if we can see what transpired.
Oh, big moment, 77 sideways. Can he hold on to it? Pollock right behind him. They gather it back up. That's Jacob Cochran, the 84, almost in the wall. Big moment for the leaders off of turn 2.
Yeah, he was able to hold on to it. A great job by him and a great job by his competitors to keep it straight right there. Yeah, he's really struggling with handling right there. You see Jacob Cochran. Jacob's being very patient right there. That's a proven race winner right there in the 84 machine. And looks like everybody's trying to give Zach a little bit of room right here to make sure he can get it underneath him. And yeah, he might just fall to the back right here to, wait for that pit stop to maybe improve some of those handling issues that he's facing.
So the pole sitter, Zach White, falls back to 10th. He's a playoff driver who needs a win on the outside. First driver out of the playoff picture at this point. Aaron Espy, though, up front, doing battle with Zach King in a battle for second place. These drivers are locked side by side. Contact there between the right side and the left side of second and third place. This battle is going to continue down into turns 1 and 2. Espy, that green and black car on the inside, running about half a lane up right now, pushing Zachary King and that number 1 another lane up. They've got the number 22 of Alex Pollock not too far behind them, and then Brett Wren has climbed up into the 5th position. We talked about that driver. Look at that heart rate, top right hand of the screen. He's usually an arresting 80 BPM right now, upwards of 100. You can tell the intensity here has started early from Atlanta.
Certainly has, and all those drivers on the inside. Well, Brett Wren was lined up with all of his 5-star racing teammates right there. Adam Holson and Evan Janik were right behind him. He's going to move to the top lane, though, it seems. And we're lined up back on the bottom right here. Gavin Henson, the current leader of this thing. Henson is, he talks about how he likes the short tracks, how he's a great short track racer. This is far removed from that, but he's showing just how fast he is on the super speedways tonight.
Fast indeed. Gavin Henson, he's a driver who really is sitting pretty good in the playoffs right now, but I know a win would do wonders for that driver of the 39 machine. We've seen him have fast races, but really just hasn't been able to put together the complete races. He takes a bump there for Aaron Espy. Hasn't really been able to put together that complete race to find himself in victory lane. But tonight, it's looking like it could be his night in the early goings. Now, 9 laps of 135 down, now 10 from Atlanta. Gavin Henson, he's your leader. We mentioned Aaron Espy, but look at that battle going on in the rearview mirror of Henson. That one of Zach King and the 22 of Alex Pollock continue to do battle side by side, not too far behind him. Great camera shot there.
Yeah, great shot right here, looking from the back of Gavin Henson. And yeah, we see Adam Holston jumping up behind Zachary King on the outside. King's been hanging out up there pretty much the entire race so far, the opening 10 laps, without a whole lot of help, Ellis, and he's been able to maintain his position where he's at. He's probably using a little bit more throttle than the drivers that are on the inside, as that outside lane is actually starting to accumulate more and more drivers. And see right here, if maybe that one machine, that Whiplash SimCams Ford, can make a bid for the lead.
A little bit more energy on the outside is the one of King, the 8 now of Holston, with Brett Wren and Caleb Hunt in tow. It's a four-car long pack, up at the front right now. King loses a little bit of momentum. Maybe Hunt lost a little bit of confidence. He ducks to the bottom, thinks about making it 3 wide in that rear view mirror of Henson. Drivers all over the place, Chris. We talk about super speedway cars handling, normally pretty easy to handle, but it's a different story tonight here in Atlanta. Here comes King for the lead on the outside.
Yeah, he's got a nice little run right here, and yeah, he doesn't need all the cars that the inside lane needs to maintain that momentum right there. And oh, they get really close off turn 4.
Big moment there for the leaders. That's one of a few we've seen tonight up front. Maybe a little bit of contact between that right quarter panel of Gavin Henson, the one of King. Maybe you're seeing a little bit of the impact that it had on that number 1 Whiplash SimCams machine of King. He gathers it back up. He gets a helping hand, a bump from Holston as they head down into turn 3. Brett Wren joins the fray as well. Chris, but looks like the energy might have moved back down to that inside line. They're lined up nose to tail, about 8 cars long.
Yeah, it's kind of like a yo-yo. You know, one lane will move forward for a little bit, it'll have the energy, and then the other one will get organized, and the pushes will be a little bit better for that lane. Seeing Aaron Espy, he's been delivering some nice pushes to the rear bumper of Gavin Henson. That might be a good driver to have behind you. It seems like he's really confident with pushing, really straight. You know, see a pretty good little shot right there going into turn 3. Now, that did get him a little bit out of shape entering turn 3. As you know, these drivers are struggling with some handling issues right here. Here comes King, and this is a good shot right here, possibly. A nice run down this front stretch.
King makes a move for the lead, loses the momentum on the inside. Couple cars dart up the track a little bit. Aaron Espy, what do you make of this strategy? I'm kind of liking the fact that the 16 is using that left side of the track to his advantage, maybe pushing that 7 up just a little bit, making him a little bit uncomfortable. Good racecraft there on the part of the number 16, potentially. Maybe trying to take a little bit of air off the left side of that number 1. You can see just how close they came to contact there as they cross the line now to come to lap number 16 of 35. While we're watching that battle, I just want to jump back for just a moment. If we could go back all the way, I believe, to the 14th position. This is a pack being led by Christian Barnes. You have to go back nearly 6 seconds, Chris, to find this pack. Stage 1 is 30 laps, 15 laps left in it. What do you make of this strategy? I think this is 100% intentional, laying back, maybe trying to avoid the big one.
It definitely is. This is the pack right here that is looking to do nothing but be around at the end of this thing. They're not interested in stage points. They're not going to lose a lap because they're running quick enough where, they're still in position. You know, they've got fast enough speeds where they will not get lapped before the lap 30 mark. And actually, you can see right there, they were gaining a fair bit of time on Evan Janik, the sort of the caboose of that lead pack. There for just a second. It's kind of going back and forth as well, but good speed in that pack, just looking to preserve what they've got all night.
Just looking to preserve what they've got all night. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in. Lap 18 of 135 here from Atlanta. It's the Bennett Transportation 1 Ooh, what is it? The 208 here from Atlanta. Sorry, my math skills are not as sharp at this point in the evening. But for all the fans who have tuned in, we are super excited that you've joined us. We're playing a little bit of a competition tonight. You notice some of your chat comments at the bottom of the screen, right above the ticker. Folks, we're going to do some interactive mini games where you can type some guesses and answers in the chat. We're going to give away one pack of the Panini NASCAR cards that could potentially have a driver autograph card in it. You can see the ticker down there. We're going to go ahead and launch our first game right now. As Johnny, maybe you feel free to take that off because we got a great battle for the lead. I'll go ahead and put that question up on the bottom. We're going to go ahead and ask you, who do you think is going to win the race tonight? To enter, all you have to do is type hashtag and then the driver number that you think is going to win. You can find those numbers in the ticker to the left. We're going to leave this open for the rest of stage number 1. Just about 10 more laps. Get in your driver pick. If you were going to pick the 71 of Evan Janik, just type the number # or hashtag 71 and enter it. Don't put any spaces in there, by the way. Brenda, oh, big contact!
Trouble.
Gavin Henson, Aaron Espy, Zachary King, Brett Ryan, Holston, Cochran, all playoff drivers involved in this lap. Number 21, calamity down the front stretch, sheet metal and carnage everywhere you look.
Yeah, and Ellis, this happened at the front of the field. It was with the leaders, so it collected a ton of cars. Go back right here to see if we can figure out what happened. It started around Gavin Henson. I think he was maybe trying to put a block on Zachary King in that number 1 machine. King's coming with a big run right here. Yes, and King makes some contact into the rear bumper right there of the 39 of Henson. Henson goes into the wall off of turn 4, down the track into the 16 machine of Aaron Espy. These cars are going to start sliding sideways. Brett Wren with nowhere to go. One of our championship bubble drivers, Adam Holston, also involved. A slew of drivers are going to get through right there. Jacob Cochran, last week's winner, I think he might have snuck through along with Zach White.
Close calls for a lot of playoff drivers, but several other playoff drivers, including Brett Wren, a driver on the bubble. You can see that heart rate has since
Evan
settled.
Janik.
Big hit for Evan Janik there on pit road. Several playoff drivers involved. Evan Janik's a driver who's not locked in. He's pretty good on points, but certainly not locked in with 2 races remaining in this round. Watching this replay puts us under caution for the first time tonight. It's going to shake up the field. The good news for these drivers, if you're a fan watching at home, they've all got a quick repair left in that pit stall that they can use to get that damage repaired in an instant and get back out there. The bad news is they're going to have to use it right now. They're not going to have it to use later in this race. Folks, we were mentioning the giveaway competition we're doing tonight. There on the bottom line, you can see it. Pick who you think is going to win. In the chat, type the # or hashtag, whatever you want to call it, and then no space, just enter your driver number like Brenda or Brianna. Go ahead. You're rooting for Gillen. Type hashtag 10. Hit that enter button. Connor Lyons, I know you're rooting for the 71. Hit hashtag 71. Type that in. Hit that enter button. Go ahead and get those guesses in. One lucky, if your driver wins the race, you will receive points. We'll put up the leaderboard here momentarily, but go ahead, get those guesses in the chat right now. Chris, I'm waiting to see if we're going to have any drivers making their way down pit road on lap 20 or so. Here come the answers. We got Brianna Fondren. They're going with Gillen. He's a popular pick tonight in that number 10 Mountain Dew machine. No takers on pit road yet. Chris, you think these drivers are just waiting out the end of stage 1 in about 9 laps or so?
Yeah, I would say that's definitely a good bet right there. And some drivers elected to stay out to try to hold on to their fast repairs. I see a little bit of damage to Derek Jewett. I see a little bit of damage to Evan Janik. Not significant damage to those cars, but I think that they might possibly be holding on to those quick repairs for any other instance we might see later on in the race.
I think that's probably not a bad choice. I think we've seen caution number 1, but we haven't seen the end of the cautions tonight. Right now, drivers are getting ready, working their way, I should say. No one's walking right now. They're working their way down the backstretch, coming out of turn 2 right now, getting ready to go back under green, fire these engines up for the second time tonight. Coming to the first restart, your top 5 as they run: Alex Pollock, Caleb Hunt, Jacob Cochran, David Moyer, Christian Barnes, Derek Jewett is 6th, Harold Tucker is 7th, Justin Miller, first time out for MRL in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, sitting 8th, Douglas Wasaki 9th, and Joshua Gillen, a popular pick in the chat. He is running in the 10th position in that number 10 machine. Right now, you can see the track side cameras as the cars work their way through turns number 3 and 4. Big moments coming up here for the leaders, getting set for a restart any moment. Pace car going to be pulling off. It's going to be Pollock in that yellow hot rod on the inside, and Caleb Hunt, that Bass Pro number 78 playoff machine on the outside. It's going to be on Pollock to hit that mash that throttle button. He gets us going. Clean and green start for the number 22, or 92, I should say, of Pollock. David Moyer, great restart. He's up into second on that inside line, and he's going to push from Derek Jewett in that 45. Hunt struggling to get going. Cochran kind of abandons the draft partner early on. Hunt's going to probably slide back to at least 5th. Cochran right in the back bumper of Derek Jewett as they work their way down the backstretch.
Yeah, last week's winner, Jacob Cochran, started shotgun on the field. Here he is up to the 4th spot. Did a great job missing that big crash. He's a driver that you're going to have to contend with, I think, if you want to win this thing. Meanwhile, that top lane right there, we saw Caleb Hunt kind of get abandoned, but he has found some help right here in the form of Christian Barnes and Harold Tucker, and they're making a nice little charge right here up the outside. See if they might be able to make a bid for the lead by the time we get back to the start-finish line.
The momentum shifting towards the outside. That bright orange and black, number 78, Caleb Hunt, with a big push from three-time winner in a row from the Cup Series, Christian Barnes, pushing him in that Domino's machine with a head of steam. They're working on the outside of David Moyer. Both rows doing chase to the back of that number 92, the leader, Alex Pollock, a driver on the outside looking in, potentially needing a win to get into the playoffs. Driver number 92 is positioned well right now in that number 92 machine. A little bit of momentum lost by the outside. Derek Jewett, David Moyer started working together on that inside, and it set back that outside just a little bit, Chris.
Yeah, it did just a little bit, and yeah, that's going to be a story all night long. Oh, we got trouble!
Hunt,
that's the 78 around.
Barnes. Big trouble. Brett Wren, Chris, into that trouble for the second time tonight. Wren cannot find a safe place on the track, and that's going to put us under caution for the second time tonight. I believe this might end stage number 1. We're going to wait to hear from our race director, John Ullman, to see if that is the case, but that was lap number 27. We're going to be coming up to lap number 28 here in just a moment. Let's see if we can't find out what happened.
And I think we're going to see some that's just disgusting netcode right there. I don't know of any other way to say it other than that. Yeah, that was the 78 getting turned around by nobody. Ellis, I feel very badly for these drivers who are involved right here, but there was no car-to-car contact. It looked like that was just a netcode issue.
A netcode issue up at the front puts us under caution for the second time. Hey, speaking of car crashes, best wishes to Connor. Got in a car accident last Friday, letting us know about it in the chat, man. We are glad you are safe and sound, buddy. I know that could not have been a good experience, but we're glad you were safe and are here to chat with us tonight. Hope everything is going well and you're feeling all right. Watching a continued replay right now on board that number 78 machine who got a big old bump, but really it was more netcode that we've seen cause problems in recent months here on iRacing. And yeah, you're going to have netcode. This is not the place to have it because how close these cars are racing against each other on this track. Folks, you still got time to get your winning picks in. We're playing some interactive mini games in the chat tonight. You can see the prompt up at the bottom of the screen right now. Pick your driver, type pound or the hashtag sign, and then type your driver number and hit that enter button. If you haven't already done so, we got several Joshua Gillen picks in the chat. Go ahead, whether you're on your phone or your computer, pull that up. We're giving away a free pack of NASCAR Panini trading cards, potentially with a driver autograph card inside. Absolutely free of charge. We'll have fun with that tonight. Plenty more games to come, plenty more prompts down at the bottom. You can see the chat going up right above the bottom line. I like where Alex Pollock is sitting right now. I'm surprised we haven't got any number 92 picks for that 22 machine. By the way, Brett Wren, big sigh in the chat. I know he's not happy about what could be potentially just a tragedy. What could have been a really big night for him has gone wrong. He says, I'm done, fellas. Too much damage. And we mentioned it. He used that fast repair at the first caution, caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. 2 crashes in a row. And that's kind of been the story for Brett Wren, it feels like, for the past several races. So bummer for him. He's going to go into the final race of round 1 next week in a must-win situation. So this can confirm from the race director and Joshua Gillen in the chat, this is the end of stage number 1. Points will be awarded, and that is big. Alex Pollock, David Moyer, Derek Jewett, Jacob Cochran, and Harold Tucker are going to collect some stage points here. That's I'm looking at drivers like Alex Pollock and Derek Jewett, Chris. That's big for these 2 drivers. Jacob Cochran's already locked in, but that is a big moment for those guys.
Yeah, it definitely is. Alex Pollock sitting at 13 above the cut line coming in to this race. Derek Jewett 12 above the cut line. They really needed these points right here. And Ellis, this is going to be, a story to watch as the night goes on right here. Will these drivers like Derek Jewett and like Alex Pollock, will they continue to race up front and try to go for those stage points in stage 2 as well at the conclusion of lap 60? Or are they going to be happy with the points that they have, maybe, and decide to ride around at the back of the field to guarantee themselves being around at the end of the race? Definitely a couple of scenarios that might play out.
I think we've got plenty of action yet to come tonight. Working lap number 29, coming to lap 30, under caution for the second time tonight. Stage 1 coming to an end. Got a couple more guesses in the chat. We got Mama Lambs going with David Wallace in that 08 machine. David running 9th. I think that might be a solid pick for Mama Lambs, rooting on that 08 machine. Not the boss David Wallace from The Office, but David Wallace with a W-A-L-L-I-S. Good run going for driver 08. Love to see a car that we're not used to seeing necessarily up front every single week having a shot tonight. He's got some speed in that 08 machine. We also got Jacob Cochran, NSRLA, chimes in picking Jacob Cochran to win. Remember, if you pick the winning driver, you'll get some bonus points added to your leaderboard score later on in the evening. We'll pull up that leaderboard here in just a moment. We're going to be closing those winner picks in just a couple of laps. Make sure you get your pick in. Joshua Gillen, you can pick yourself, and you certainly did. I knew you would, but I think that might be a sound pick tonight. Working our way around the track. Natural caution, but it put us under a stage break for stage 1. I believe pit road is maybe going to be open this time or the next time. We'll wait and see. Well, Chris, what do you know?
Yeah, I think that we'll see them roll around the track right here because they will have to cross the line at the conclusion of lap 30. So I think that we'll see them take the green and white checker this time, and then the next time they will come down pit road. And I'm going to bet that we're probably going to see all of these cars travel down pit road.
I think you're absolutely right. And if that is the case, as soon as we confirm it, I think it might be a good opportunity to hear from our partners. Pit road will open on lap 31. Absolutely correct, says Josh Gillen. I think it might be a good time to hear from our partners, Fall Creek Plumbing. I know Brett Wren's not going to get the finish that he wanted for them tonight, but still a great company. Check out the ad. We'll be right back in just about 30 seconds, folks. Do not go anywhere.
Whether it's a sudden leak or a project you've been meaning to tackle, Fall Creek Plumbing is here to help. Serving all of Central Indiana, we're a small family-owned business based in Pendleton, built on honesty, quality, and care. From slab leaks and water heaters to full plumbing upgrades and everyday maintenance, our team brings experience and craftsmanship to every job, big or small. It's not just about fixing problems. It's about providing reliable, long-term solutions for your home. At Fall Creek Plumbing, we believe in showing up on time, treating your home with respect, and doing the job right the first time. Because peace of mind shouldn't be a luxury. It should be the standard. Fall Creek Plumbing, local, reliable, professional, and proud sponsor of Mystic Racing League.
Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Stage number 1's over. Drivers entering pit road down there on the apron. It's going to be led by Alex Pollock. There's a developing situation we'll talk about here momentarily once we see these pit stops happen. Going to be a race to see who can get off pit road the fastest. Track position could be very important here. Pollock, nice little lead on David Moyer in that 47 coming down pit road. Of course, these drivers can't control how fast their pit crews are, but they can be sure not to slide through their boxes over the line or maybe get a little bit too close to the wall. So technical prowess is important on pit road here. Keep an eye on that. Got a number 7 guess for the win as well. Coming in through the chat, Alex Pollock. You can see him pitting there. Look at that pit road timer battle. We can see who's got the fastest stops, and we'll see who comes off pit road here first momentarily. Drivers come to the attention of their pit crews. Right side's being jacked up, be followed by the left sides, and the first car off right now looking like it's going to be Alex Pollock. Jacob Cochran picks up a lot of positions there. Harold Tucker comes off third. Looks like Alex White in that number 77 comes off fourth, but the fastest stop at the moment at least belongs to that 71 crew for Evan Janik. Not running in the top 5, but he comes off pit road 14th. Solid stop. Janik, if you remember, started near around 10th place or so, 9th place actually. Elected to fall back towards the back of that pack, and right now his machine looks pretty green, Chris, so maybe a good strategy on his part. Talk to us about those cars that maybe did not come down pit road. Why do we see some cars that did not make their way down pit road who are going to be up front potentially on this restart?
Well, the two drivers up here at the front, the number 1 is Zachary King and the number 16 of Aaron Espy. Both those drivers came to pit road, not on the last caution, but on the previous caution before. They currently have 10 laps on this stint. And with 30 laps in this stage, in stage 2, and we know that these drivers can go to the end. They can make it about 45 laps on a tank of fuel. I think that it's safe to bet that those drivers can make it to the end of the stage. Their tires are going to be a little bit warmer, a little bit more worn out. Not too much, though, because we didn't get a lot of green flag running there, Ellis. So they're electing for the track position. I think that's a pretty good call on their part.
Not a bad call at all. The number 1 is Zachary King's going to make the call to go to the inside. Aaron Espy, second place, going to choose the inside as well. It's going to put Alex Pollock up to the front of the outside row. He's going to be competing here on the restart for the lead. Interesting call by Espy to go down the bottom there. Tells me he's pretty comfortable down there. We saw him really working that kind of like up a half a lane or so. So keep an eye on that driver, the number 16. He's been fast tonight. I believe he was Johnny's pick. So speaking of picks, if you haven't gotten your race winner pick in yet, you still got a few laps on the bottom. Just type your driver number, hashtag, then your driver number. If you're going for the 71, it's just hashtag or the # 71. Type that in the chat, and you could get some bonus points in the mini game competition tonight for that Panini NASCAR trading card pack, maybe with a driver autograph in it. We appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Send your friends. Hey, you know what? I'll throw this out there. If you send a friend and you get them to type it in the chat, we'll give you some bonus points on the board as well. Right now, drivers have already been awarded bonus points at the end of stage 1. We're getting ready to start stage number 2 here. It'll be about 28 laps of racing. Zachary King there on the inside. He's going to be the restart leader with Alex Pollock on the outside. Let's see what's about to happen. Pace car pulls off, and Chris, looks like no one wants to be on that outside other than those first 3 cars. King mashes the throttle. We're back underway here in Atlanta. King gets away. He gets the whole shot by 4 or 5 car lengths. The battle really right now is for second place. Aaron Espy in that green machine. Down on the inside, doing battle with Alex Pollock, but Jacob Cochran right up to the back bumper of that 16.
Yeah, we've seen Zachary King. He's been very committed to that high side all night long. So see him right here on the bottom right here, accepting the push right here from Aaron Espy. A little bit of a different view for the driver of the number 1. But he's been up there near the front the entire night. Alex Pollock with a nice run right here to the outside. He's going to get to the outside of the 1. Battle for the lead.
Battle for the lead is on. A big push from Harold Tucker to the back bumper of that 92. They sail it down into turn 1. The 22 climbs the banking off a wiggle from the number 1 of Zachary King. These cars are not handling their best right now. Espy and Pollock side by side. Harold Tucker and Cochran draw even in row number 3.
Yeah, that 92 machine right there is getting a good push from the 79 of Harold Tucker. Tucker trying to stay as close as he can right there. He's trying to peek out a little bit in the corners right there to get some clean air on the nose to help that thing turn. Meanwhile, Aaron Espy is all over the back bumper of Zachary King, trying to deliver those good pushes. King gets a little bit of the red and white line right there entering turn 1, but it doesn't upset his car right there. He still has the lead by a car length over this side-by-side battle for second.
You mentioned that side-by-side battle for second. There's a side-by-side battle right behind them for third. It's Harold Tucker and Jacob Cochran, and Evan Janik has joined the fray. And look out, new car in town, Chris. That number 95, I believe that is a Subway machine running back there. That is Justin Miller in that number 95 Subway machine. You can't miss that thing, lime green machine. Through turns 1 and 2, he's working underneath playoff driver Adam Holston right now, but great story for driver number 95, up from 18th position on the starting grid tonight. He's done a yeoman's work out there and continues to saw that wheel as he works his way up in the running order. But look how close that battle is right in front of them. Pollock and Espy continue to run side by side. Chris, are you nervous? How willing? I know you're front row or second row. Does that feel okay, or are you still nervous even up at the front of the pack?
Well, we saw the big crash happen with the leaders earlier, so yeah, I am nervous even being up here at the lead. I don't think there's anywhere that's really safe, unless you're maybe one of those cars that's back behind this pack, sort of single file down there on the bottom. Yeah, Evan Janik right here, he's in the middle of this mess right here. I mean, he's probably feeling it. But, you know, it's something to be said for being in control, Ellis. These drivers that are in control, yeah, they're seeing a lot more than what we see from the broadcast booth. They know what they can do, and they know what type of confidence maybe their fellow drivers have around them.
And these drivers have been racing with each other all 28 races of this season, now 29. They're getting comfortable with each other. You can see the bump drafting off the front hood of Evan Janik and that AMSoil machine. You can see that 16 wiggling around, moving that 79 of Tucker, who had a little bit of netcode issue there, moving up the track and right in front of them, side by side for the lead. We got 10 cars you could throw a blanket over right now and cover them all down into turn 1.
Yeah, that 79 machine, Harold Tucker, right in front of Evan Janik right there. That car is moving around a lot right there through the corners. He's going to close up on the back bumper right here of Alex Pollock. See if he can give Pollock a little bit of a push going into turn 3. Yeah, he did get kind of close to him right there, but you saw he wasn't able to really stay lined up with him right here. It's harder to push here, Ellis, than it is at Daytona and Talladega. Handling just means so much more, but here he is down the front stretch with a nice shove to the 92.
Nice shove to the 92 from Harold Tucker and that 79. He's a driver that might have a breakout win tonight. Not a playoff driver, but a driver we've seen really being part of these races increasingly. Does he make it 3 wide for the lead? Almost there. Thought about it down the backstretch, but cooler heads prevailed. Harold Tucker decides to tuck in behind that number 92, maybe trying to get a little bit of clean air to that nose. Why would you as a driver try to poke out that nose to the right or left of the car in front of you? Is there any benefit? Is that strategic at all, Chris?
Yeah, I think that definitely here in Atlanta, it's a lot different than Daytona and Talladega. They race like super speedways in the sense that you have to utilize the draft. But I think here, as Alex Pollock gets loose right there off of turn 2, I think here handling matters just a little bit more, and being able to have some clean air on the nose just put some of that air, pushes that nose down and helps that car turn in the center of the corner. These drivers that run square behind the car in front of them, it's going to make that car really tight, and it's not going to want to turn right in the center of the corner. So I think that you're going to see that possibly all night tonight, especially if we get a really long green flag run.
A long green flag run could be in the cards tonight. Right now, working our way towards the end of stage number 2 on lap 60. That's about 18 laps from now, and we haven't seen anything but hard-nosed, intense racing every single lap. If you're joining us here on Slingshot TV, we are super thrilled that you found us. You came just at the right time. Amazing racing here. Race number 2 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series Playoffs. One car, a little bit squirrely there. That very well might have been the 95 of Justin Miller, having a little bit of trouble with the handling of that race car right now. But I guess you could say that Subway machine might be hungry for a win tonight, Chris.
Yeah, I think that he might very well could be. Yeah, he's up there in the midst. And yeah, these drivers, I'm not sure if maybe, Mystic Racing League has so many series, and this is the only one that we broadcast for them. So while we haven't seen him, maybe he has run other Mystic Racing League races. And so these drivers might be familiar with him. Some of them might not be, though. This might be their first time with him, and a little uncertainty comes with that. But, man, we got a battle for the lead right here. Jacob Cochran with a nice push from Adam Holston. My pick, by the way. He's going to take the lead.
Cochran to the front with a draft partner, Adam Holston, and not many cars have looked better in the draft than that number 8 All-Star baseball game machine. Adam Holston throwing it back to that Dale Jr. scheme and certainly racing like Dale Jr. tonight, pushing that number 84 out to the front. Holston's won one race earlier at Las Vegas this season. He's a playoff driver looking for a win to lock himself into round number 2 tonight. That 8's got a good shot. He's got Alex Pollock right behind him. Justin Miller, Harold Tucker, Evan Janik, Chris, for the first time tonight, has worked his way into that lead pack picture. 4th car on the outside. He's running currently in that 7th position. You can see Janik there right at the top of the frame. He's now about 10 cars in this first little pack. Derek Jewett actually 9th is that last car in the pack. They're coming up on Caleb Hunt. Dangerous moment. Hunt pushes the one up the track.
Oh, no.
He's collected by Aaron Espy. A lap car brings out caution number 3, and that collects 4 or 5 cars down in turn number 2. That very well might be the biggest crash of the night. It took out King, and I believe it took out Derek Jewett. Not sure if Jewett's used that quick repair yet. Might have hung on to it. But boy, things went south real fast there, Chris. That lap car, Caleb Hunt, a playoff driver, by the way. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, that car's really wounded. You can see the rear damage on that thing right there. And yeah, the one machine looked like he was going up the middle right there, Zachary King. And it just looked like to me the 78 was having a hard time keeping that thing straight on the bottom lane. And oh, Aaron Espy, Derek Jewett. Here comes the 08. I think that's, yeah, David Wallace right there. So, yeah, some championship implications right here for Derek Jewett. I'm not sure if Derek has used his quick repair yet. If he has, then that is, you know, some serious championship implications for the driver of the 45.
Yeah, we're going to find out real fast as drivers come down pit road in those wounded vehicles who's used their quick repair and who hasn't. You saw just a little bit of a maneuver to try to make sure they avoided and stayed clear of that lap car on the apron was enough in these tight confines of pack racing in Atlanta to cause some calamity in the corner there. We're going to see, I'm watching, I'm keeping an eye on these drivers. Josh Gillen saying his view was wild in that one. While we're working this caution, I believe Caleb Hunt, Chris, I can't answer that question. He had not used his quick repair. He's elected to use it here based on the numbers I'm seeing on pit road. Hunt looks to be okay. Casey Bristow also coming down pit road here as well. Let's see if we can't figure out that onboard view as they work their way down the front straightaway. Let's see what Josh Gillen saw here in that Mountain Dew machine. You can see the beginnings of the crash here. They work their way around that lap car of Joshua Gillen. This is going to be a close one.
Yeah, and he goes straight for the apron, and yeah, when he gets there, they're still crashing, and yeah, he just maneuvers his way right on through there. So yeah, good job for him by being patient right there and getting that Baja Blast machine clear of all that calamity right there. And yeah, that's a race-changing crash right there, Ellis.
It is a massive point swing implication. Speaking of that, Johnny, I've had some requests for a playoff points. If we can see, if we can easily pull up those playoff points, even in the studio shot would be just fine. I know Brianna's requested it. Let's take a look here at those playoff points, where those drivers stand. You can see the drivers in green. They're in the top 8. They'll advance into round number 3, pending they stay above that 9th place cut line. You can see the drivers on the bubble there. Several drivers in that playoff picture were involved in the caution just a moment ago. So we're working caution number 5 tonight. Lap 50 of 135 here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Folks, if you're joining us, we are super thrilled that you have found us, whether it's the first time or you're back. Make sure that you hit that subscribe and like button. It doesn't cost you a single thing. We got live racing every single week, multiple times a week, in fact, and we're playing some mini games in the chat right now. You've seen the leaderboard scroll across the screen a couple of times, and I will roll it up in a little bit, but we're competing for a pack of Panini NASCAR trading cards. We'll have another mini game coming up for you in just a minute. But before that, we're about 20 laps away from halfway. Your next prompt, who's going to be the leader at halfway. Who do you think is going to be the leader at halfway? You can see that prompt on the bottom. Same process as last time. Hashtag your driver number. If you're picking number 71 be the leader at halfway, type that pound sign or that number sign, 71, hit enter, and you are entered into that competition as well. Right now, Jacob Cochran, Alex Pollock, those are the two leaders on the track right now. Cochran, last week's winner at Richmond, he's got a lot of pressure off of him. He's locked into round number 2, but wants another win tonight to make a statement. Pace car is going to peel off. We're going to see how. We're going to come back under green flag conditions if Cochran can get it going. He does. Nice restart for the driver, that number 84, Alex Pollock, now in second with that's the 8 of Adam Holston, his inside, as they send it down into turn number 1, side by side for second place. The 8 on the inside, the 22 on the outside, about a car width between them. And right now, the energy seems to be on the inside line.
Yeah, that 92 machine of Alex Pollock right there getting a nice run right here as they're going to work around a lap car.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
That lap car right there is going to go to the apron to stay out of everybody's way. Those two 5-star teammates right there, they were working together on the previous run. Here they are side by side. They lined up in different rows, talking about Alex Pollock and Adam Holston. See right here, maybe if they can get lined up, and I don't think they will be able to right there, as Pollock has a nice run on the outside entering turn 1.
Pollock with a nice run indeed, entering turn 1 on that outside. Not a whole lot of help from Justin Miller in the 39 right behind him, keeping about a car length's distance in that Subway number 95 machine. First race out in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. He's working his way around Harold Tucker on the outside. That's a battle for the 5th position right now. And hey, Joshua Gillen, I know we had a lot of Gillen picks to win the race in the chat earlier. That car's up to 6th position, maybe high on Mountain Dew or just adrenaline. That 10 is moving forward at a big clip there on the inside there. 3 positions gained in the last lap.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Baja Blast, and here he is right here. The second car on the inside lane right now, going to try to get really close to the back bumper of Adam Holston. And it actually looks like some of the leaders are migrating down towards the bottom right here. Jacob Cochran leading this thing. Alex Pollock, who was on that outside lane, down here on the inside into the second spot. These drivers right here really close together on the inside lane. That's going to give Harold Tucker a chance to make up some ground here on the outside with not a whole lot of help.
Harold Tucker trying to make up some ground on the outside. The Lone Ranger, so to speak. He's got Evan Janik about 3 car lengths behind, trying to hold tight to the side of that number 8. Chris, does side drafting play a role in these cars here at Atlanta at all?
Yeah, it does a little bit. It's probably nowhere near as pronounced as it is in some of the other vehicles on the sim racing service. I think about cars like the ARCA car. In that super speedway package, the side draft is much more prevalent in those. You still do get a little bit of that effect, but not as strong as some of those other ones, as Evan Janik is all over the back bumper of Harold Tucker, giving him a nice push into turn 3. He's going to look to get side by side here for a second as they come off turn 4, possibly.
Casey Bristow up the track, almost collects Gavin Hinton. Very well, might have collected Gavin Hinton, a playoff driver, already using his quick repair. Keep an eye on that number 39, almost collected in that incident. We'll see in just a moment if we can't figure out what exactly happened to Casey Bristow there. Broke sideways in the corner and drove the 39 of Gavin Hinton up the track just a little bit. The fight continues up at the front right now. That continues to be just as tense as it was before that quick moment we just saw.
Yeah, we can actually go back and take a look at it, and we will right here as Casey Bristow entering turn 3 right here, the number 7 Rockwell Automation machine. That car in the middle lane right here, and yeah, it just gets sideways, Ellis, just gets loose. I don't know if he had a moment before that maybe heated that right front, but yeah, you saw the 39 of Gavin Hinton have to tag the wall to miss him, but that could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse indeed. Almost had a 3-wide battle there up at the front around 3rd or 4th position. Your top 10 as they run. This has been pretty steady for the last 10 laps or so. It's Cochran, Pollock, Holston, Janik, and Miller. That is your top 5. They've been quickly changing inside the top 10, though. Christian Barnes is in 6th. Harold Tucker, 7th. Joshua Gillen is 8th. Douglas Wasaki up in the top 10. He's in 9th. And then Gavin Hinton, keeping an eye on the lap times that 39 car has been running. He's kind of the first car outside of this main pack, leading that second pack right now. This top pack is really not broken up at all. I do have a question in the chat. maybe a joke from Connor here. It says, I know, everyone, how much does a chimney cost? How much does a chimney cost? If you can type the correct answer to the chat, to this question in the chat, anyone gets it right, I'll throw a point their way on the leaderboard for that Panini NASCAR trading card pack tonight that we're giving away. Let us know if you think you got an answer to that, what I believe is a joke from Connor in the chat. Type your answer. If you get it right, we'll give you a trivia point right now. Man,
and Ellis,
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, we're coming to the end of stage 2 right here. This is the final lap right here, and it's getting crazy. Alex Pollock looking to get all the stage points tonight, but he's in the middle, 3 wide.
Adam Holston, Alex Pollock, the 95 of Justin Miller, big crash, Pollock. That's the 95 of Miller collected a number car. Holston is collected, and Evan Janik gets involved in that as well. Another big playoff moment happening on the final lap of the stage here. It's going to put us under caution, not only naturally for that crash, but for the end of stage number 2. Your point winners, Cochran, Holston, Barnes, Janik, and Gillen. Another big playoff point pickup for Joshua Gillen there. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, we saw right there the 92 get down into, I think, that was Adam Holston, and then some contact with the 95 of Miller. Both those cars hit the outside wall really hard. Alex Pollock was looking at a great night for stage points. He collected some in the first stage, and he was looking to collect a lot of them right here in the second stage as well. Unfortunately, he's going to miss out on them. As far as bubble drivers go, Ellis, Joshua Gillen looks like he's going to be one of the bubble drivers to get some stage points right here in stage 2.
Big pickup for Gillen. Holston still good up there. I misspoke earlier. Jacob Cochran is your leader. Janik, Barnes, and Gillen. Several drivers involved in that crash. You can see Justin Miller got caught up in that. I believe Harold Tucker got caught up in that, and a handful of other cars. Let's check in on our pre-race picks. I know that I had Reggie Kime as my pre-race winner pick. He's sitting in the 10th position in that number 9. I like where that 9 machine is sitting. I think he's taking care of his car all night long. That's Reggie Kime coming down pit road right now with Casey Bristow not too far behind. So keep an eye on that number 9. Johnny, I believe you were you had Aaron Espy as your pick tonight.
Yeah, Aaron Espy is out of the race, 11 laps down. So that went really well for me, but he did have a great showing there early on until he got taken out, you know. But
he was doing pretty good before that, but yeah, you mentioned it, out on that last crash. Aaron Espy in that 16 done for the night. And Chris, how's Adam Holston doing?
He's doing great. He's got that Dale Jr. Super Speedway machine right up there in the second spot, the all-star baseball throwback. And yeah, you know, he was right there in the midst of that crash that just occurred right there. Not sure how much damage there is to the number 8 machine. The field got frozen with him in second spot. And if I look to his left rear, yeah, the whole back end is beat up. So I'm not sure what he's going to elect to do right here. If he's going to maybe decide to get it repaired with a quick repair, or maybe just have his crew take some time on it. I think I would have the crew maybe take some time on it to see if maybe you can get as much of it fixed, you know, the old-fashioned way as possible. You know, that way maybe you can save that quick repair for later if he even still has it.
Watching this race down and off pit road, keeping an eye on those pit times from the leaders. Some fast stops underway. Drivers working their way off a pit road. Some drivers elected not to come down at all, but we watched that battle off pit road. Christian Barnes there, I believe that's Zachary White in the number 77, not too far behind. Coming to their attention, the crews, the car that stayed out, Alex Pollock, Casey Bristow, we saw him have a moment earlier. He's going to be marked up in the 3rd position. Second, I should say, and Christian Barnes is marked currently in the 3rd position in that number 27 machine. He's going to be the first car off pit road with a pretty fast stop, but Evan Janik's pit crew does it again, puts him up in the 11th position with that fast stop on the 71 machine. There's Barnes coming off the pit road there. He's going to be slated to restart in the 3rd position. I like where that number 27 is sitting right now. And if you haven't been watching the Mystic, I believe it's the Octane Outlaws Cup Series on Friday night. Sorry, my dates are all out of whack here. Christian Barnes has won the last 3 playoff races in his 27 machine. So he's been fast in the Cup Series and showing a lot of speed tonight here in the Xfinity cars for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, sitting 3rd right now. Pollock continues to work his way around the track. Chris, Gavin Henson's going to be slated to restart in the 2nd position. Wondering how that car is going to handle, and if he was able to get any of that damage fixed. I do not believe. Yeah, he did come down pit road last time, it looks like. 2 laps on those tires. He did come down pit road, and I'm curious to see how that number 39 is going to handle, if he took the quick repair or not.
Yeah, he didn't, because there's still quite a bit of damage to that right front. So either that or he's already, used it up. And I believe he did, because he was in that pretty big crash earlier in the race. He was actually trying to miss Casey Bristow, who had issues and spun in turns 3 and 4 earlier before this most recent caution. And I think that, Henson might be stuck with, some pretty significant right front damage for the rest of this race.
Yeah, that is going to be something to keep an eye on. He was a driver who we had pegged to potentially be a winner tonight. We're going to be doing another game down at the bottom. You can see it there, the word scramble. We've got a scrambled word on the screen related to the race. Just type the word with a hashtag sign in front of it in the chat. If you can unscramble it, put hashtag in front of it, type it in the chat. The first person to get it in the chat. Actually, we're going to do the first 2 people. First 2 people to get the correct answer in the chat. We'll throw some trivia points their way on the leaderboard tonight for that Panini NASCAR trading card pack, maybe with a driver autograph in it. Right now, 27 to 92, they're going to be our restart leaders. And before I mention, Chris, the joke was nothing. It's on the house. That's how much a chimney costs. It's on a house. Terrible joke. Terrible joke, Connor. We love it, though. Alex Pollock loving that view in the 92. He's got the rest of the field lined up behind him for the restart here on lap 65. Pollock gets it going. The 39 of Gavin Henson is joined by Christian Barnes, who is outside. There goes the 84 of Jacob Cochran. You can see him dart to the inside. Looks like everyone wants to get to the inside of the track right now. Adam Holston, the Lone Ranger, in the rear view mirror. He's on the outside with no help. Gavin Henson working his way underneath. Chris, maybe issues for that 39. Going to elect to come down pit road here. Doesn't like what he's feeling, maybe, or just getting out of the way of the traffic. That ill-handling race car not cooperating with Gavin Henson right now, a playoff driver who's trying to hold on to that quick repair, I would imagine, until later on in the race.
Yeah, I don't think he has the quick repair anymore, after that big crash earlier. So I just think he knows his car's pretty badly damaged, and he might need a lot more track than what he's going to have right here in the front to be able to hold on to that thing. And we've got one heck of a battle right here. A lot of lane switching going on right here. Christian Barnes on the outside with a push from Adam Holston. Meanwhile, on the inside lane, that's Alex Pollock with the push, the help right there from Jacob Cochran, last week's winner in the 84.
Jacob Cochran, big push coming from the inside right now to the back bumper of Alex Pollock. That's first, second, third, and fourth, with 5th place Evan Janik. Throw a blanket over those guys. A big push from Jacob Cochran. Maybe knocked that number 92 a little bit loose there. 2 by 2 is your front 4. 5th is Evan Janik, slowly creeping into the picture. They work their way down into turns 3 and 4. About a car length separate front bumpers from the back bumpers of each one of these cars. Now less than that, maybe a sheet of paper thickness between them.
Yeah, it's really close, really tight. We're seeing some really good pushers up here at the front of this thing. I like the way Adam Holston's car looked earlier on that outside lane when he was the second car. I feel like he's been like the most comfortable looking car to take a push from on that outside lane so far. And here he is right on the back bumper of Christian Barnes. Not quite pushing him down the backstretch right there, but just being close enough to be able to give him that aero push, the aerodynamic push, to give him a little bit extra horsepower right there off of turn 2 and down the backstretch.
Aero push indeed. We mentioned that a couple times throughout this race. These cars, as the runs go on, will continue to handle more and more poorly. We're on lap 69, almost lap 70 of 135 at the moment. It has been a wild one so far. Drivers not really been able to separate themselves much from each other, which was no surprise coming into race number 2 of the Fall Creek Plumbing. Big contact. The 22, the 92 collects. Christian Barnes, Holston's in it. Can
They save
get
it.
gathered back up on the apron? Can everyone hold on to it? My goodness, the talent shined bright there on the front straightaway in what could have been a catastrophic moment for at least 4 or 5 playoff drivers. Jacob Cochran maintains the lead. Pollock carries on in second, but now about 15 car lengths back to third.
Yeah, we might be able to go back right here and see what happened right here. Johnny, we got it queued up. Yeah, so right here, yeah, the 92 slides up into the 27. And then some contact between the 27 and the 8. The 8 down here on the apron, that's Adam Holson. He gets it straightened back out. All these drivers right here take evasive action and do an awesome job. We're still green.
Still clean and green. What an amazing job these drivers did. Speaking of amazing jobs, in the chat had a couple answers to that word scramble. To be fair, technically the word was restart. But Brianna also guessed starter, which technically is also correct. So we're going to give all 3 of those people points. Brianna, NSLRA, and Connor got points for that. Congratulations to them. This is making this leaderboard very much tighter than it was earlier. You'll see that scroll across the screen in just a second. Now they've lined up single file, Chris. We're getting ready to enter into that pay window. Just about 67 laps from now, we're over the halfway point here in Atlanta. Now a couple drivers moving up to the top. Holston and Janik, are they going to look to work together here to get by that 27 of Christian Barnes? These cars are wiggling left and right. There's Harold Tucker right in front of them. Third position, looking to see if he can make a move to the inside of Alex Pollock. Oh, one car really loose back there into the wall. Not sure who that was. I believe that might have been the
08 of David Wallace.
08 of David Wallace struggling there. A car a lap down, trying to get his lap back, one of 3 laps back at least. I know we had some Wallace fans in the chat earlier. Not the night he wanted, but still staying on track. Looking like he's got a little bit of speed there despite that moment we just saw from him. 73 laps of 135 in the books. And let's check in on a couple drivers. Caleb Hunt, Chris. That machine of Caleb Hunt, 1 lap down. He's sitting in 14th, but he's in that lead pack. You trying to get your lap back the natural way in case a caution comes back out if you're Caleb Hunt. Harold Tucker also a lap down. They're competing against each other right now.
Yeah, they are competing against each other, and yeah, it's going to be difficult to get it back the natural way. You know, you're just going to have to find yourself up at the lead of this pack right here. You know, if the caution does come out, I think the best bet is to get it through the lucky dog, through the waiver round. You know, once the caution does come out. So yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on this battle right here between the 2 of them because they are up here mixing it up with these leaders. And right now they're nose to tail with each other. And that's something I never really wanted to do, Ellis, if I was a lap down on a super speedway style track. I always wanted to be in the opposite lane of the driver that I was competing against because I knew that I had the best chance to maybe move forward and move past them if I was in that opposite lane.
I think you're right, but I think maybe there's a little bit of comfort there for the 78 and that 79 nose to tail on the inside there. That seems to be the preferred line by a lot of guys. The inside seems to be the most comfortable tonight. We've been following that all night long, and I just can't get over how these drivers, we've only seen a handful of crashes tonight, and the way these cars have been running and how close these packs have been racing, that is surprising and is a kind of a testament to how good these drivers are week in and week out. We see that outside line with a little bit of momentum right now, kind of a split in the packs. The top 6 or so are separated by about 4 car lengths. You got to go back to Christian Barnes, 4 car lengths back. He's even maybe getting a little separation between him and Joshua Gillen, Henson and Reggie Kime back there. But as this pack goes side by side, top 6, it allows those back 3 to maybe catch up just a little bit.
Yeah, it does. And what I'm seeing right here, Ellis, is that top lane, the 5-star racing teammates, the 92, the 8, and the 71, seeing the best organization really between those 3. The inside lane is definitely quick enough to be able to compete with them, but I'm seeing a little bit larger gaps between those cars on that inside as one car's going to get way out of the way down the backstretch right here. That's the number 95 machine of Miller, Justin Miller. He's getting out of the way. And yeah, those 5-star teammates are really organized, but it's still difficult to make up ground.
Yeah, it is. It is difficult. It seems like you can't really do a whole lot. You can't get away from anybody. That outside line and inside line, those first two cars in line have just, they kind of been there. They haven't been able to get away from each other. We haven't seen the ability to really pass. Now, I think part of that maybe has to do with where we are in the race. We're 80 of 135, 55 laps still left, so plenty still to be decided here. But I think maybe we're going to see the gloves come off even more than they already have when we enter maybe into 20 laps from now when we get to triple digits on lap 100, as these drivers know that the pay window is coming open. But boy, it looks like they might be starting to take the gloves off right now as these cars are riding so close to each other through the corner here in race number 2 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series playoffs from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Your top 10 as they are running, you can see them on the left. It's Alex Pollock. This is a guy who needs a win. No one picked him. You and I didn't pick him. Johnny didn't pick him. We didn't have any Pollock picks in the chat, but he might pull the upset of the season tonight in that number 92. See if we can't maybe talk to him if we get another caution, pull him up into the booth in that number 92 machine. Jacob Cochran runs second. That's last week's winner from Richmond. Holston, your pick, Chris. Despite that damage, he's looking okay in that number 8 machine. I'm liking what I'm seeing with a big push from the number 8 to the number 92 of Pollock from Holston. Janik in 4th. Christian Barnes in 5th. That is your top 5. Joshua Gillen back there a little bit further back in that Mountain Dew machine. He's 6th. Gavin Henson 7th. Reggie Kahn, that's my pick. He's sitting in 8th. Douglas Wasaki 9th. And Zachary King continues to run in that 10th position right now. Great racing going on so far. We're competing for the trading cards in the chat. It's been a great chat, folks. Continue to let us know what you're thinking of the racing right now. I'm going to play another mini game here in a couple of minutes. We'll do some trivia, but right now we're just focusing on the amazing racing that we continue to see here lap after lap after lap. Pretty phenomenal stuff so far, Chris.
Yeah, it is, and we saw one driver right there. I think that was, Evan Janik, really high in turns 3 and 4. He was right behind his 2 teammates, and he has really slipped back right here in the last half a lap. Wonder if he's maybe thinking, go into a little bit of a conservation mode right here. Just maybe kind of ride, feeling like maybe the back of the pack is a good place for him to be. Harold Tucker on that inside lane. He's battling it out with Caleb Hunt for the lucky dog spot, and that car is moving around a lot, Ellis. That 79 Sofa News machine looks like it is not handling well.
But right now, you mentioned it, he is positioned as the first car a lap down, wiggling back and forth. If we were to get a caution, he would be the recipient of the lucky dog. And as long as he's not the caution, because right now he has got a handful underneath him in that 79 machine, running up in that top pack. Christian Barnes kind of about 8 car lengths back off the 78 of Caleb Hunt. We've kind of seen 2 different packs emerge. You got to go all the way back just about 8 seconds to find Gavin Henson. He's leading a single file pack back there in the 7th position. It's Henson, Kime, and Wasaki with Zachary King. That's Casey Bristow and Zachary White not too far. Zach White not too far behind them. This is a 6-car pack. What do you think? Is this the right call with just 40, or I should say 50 laps left in this race? I know these drivers probably banking on a caution maybe.
The thing I'm worried about with them, Ellis, is their pace. I'm not sure if they have the pace to maybe make up that gap, especially with a damaged car, like what you see the 39 car of Gavin Henson has right there. Right there, a battle box provided by, these are insights provided by Pierce Graphics. It says that they have similar pace, and looking at the times, I think that's a very accurate assessment right there. I don't know if they have the raw speed to be able to chase that pack down. As we're approaching, we're getting closer and closer to maybe this final round, this possible round of green flag pit stops before the end of this thing.
And you can see that similar pace. They're not running particularly any slower. They separated themselves early on in this stint, in this restart, and they've just kind of continued to linger back there about 8 seconds or so. And you mentioned it, they could be in danger if we get a green flag pit cycle. That could be trouble for that number 39 led pack by Gavin Henson back there in 7th. If you're Henson, though, you got to feel comfortable with the 7th place finish. I think there's something to be said for that. But if you're Reggie Kime how comfortable are you waiting back in this pack? I know there's probably really a difference in strategies and mindsets between these two drivers in terms of where they sit in the playoffs.
Yeah, it definitely is different mindsets, and I'm not sure if maybe, they just fell back, unintentionally, maybe lost the pack, lost the draft, or if this was intended from all these drivers back here. But yeah, just watching them right here, Ellis, I'm not sure. They're not losing a ton of ground, but typically with a pack lined up like this behind the main pack, battling it side by side, you typically see them run a lot faster, and they don't really have the pace right now, I don't believe, to be able to run them down. So, but we could always have a caution. This front pack is still side by side for the lead up here. So, yeah, it might work out in their benefit to be that far back.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. They're side by side. We've seen really where the cautions have happened. They've happened up front with bumps gone wrong. Hey, Brianna in the chat, she says she's a teacher. Her teacher brain is fried. Brianna, what do you teach? Let us know. Chris and I are both teachers ourselves. So kudos to you. It's been a long weekend. I know we're just getting back to school, so we appreciate you joining us in the chat tonight. John Rapp, Johnny, your daddy's tuned in. He says, well, I did it again, looking to see where my boy is running, and again, didn't realize he's in the booth. Sometimes getting older isn't that good. Johnny, your dad's rooting for you, whether you're on the track or in the booth tonight. John, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. We are hoping you are doing well. We're glad to see you in the chat watching the race and having some fun tonight, man. Side by side up at the front with the leaders. It's Cochran, it's Harold Tucker. Tucker a lap down, trying to get that lap back the hardest way possible. On the inside, he's got Caleb Hunt not too far behind. It's a battle within a battle. Hunt and Harold Tucker battling for the lucky dog position, whereas that top line, they're battling for positions 1, 2, 3, and then shortly behind them, it's fourth place Evan Janik, Christian Barnes, a little bit further back there as well. Great racing going on so far. Lap number 91 of 135, race number 2 of the playoffs. Big time implications for the finishing order tonight for these drivers in terms of their playoff hopes, or maybe the end of a season coming up next week with the conclusion of round number 1. She teaches third grade, Chris, by the way. Much harder job, I think, than we probably have. So,
yeah,
but hey,
agreed.
out there from Alabama, Woodstock, Alabama, roll tide, roll tide.
How about
Hopefully
that?
you're roll tide. It's all right. It's not a great week to be roll tide, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We live to fight another day. As all these drivers on the track right now, it's been a wild race, but they're living to fight to the end of this race right now.
They definitely are, Ellis. And I'm watching these two cars on the inside, Harold Tucker and Caleb Hunt, battling it out for the lucky dog spot. And you mentioned before, Ellis, can these drivers unlap themselves naturally, like be in front of the leaders? And while they're not going to be able to pull away, I didn't think that it would be all that possible, because I didn't think they'd have enough drivers to work with them, considering they're a lap down. But, they're the two cars leading right here. The organization is on the top, but they're holding tough on that inside lane.
Holding tough on the inside lane indeed. These drivers just really a showcase of skill all night long. One driver we haven't really mentioned in detail, Evan Janik, came in late during practice. Thought maybe he wasn't going to show up. He's really over 70 points, I believe, to the good right now, above the playoff cut line with that amazing regular season that he had, winning the regular season championship. Positioned himself well to have a
Janik tagged the
commentator's
wall.
curse there. And that 71 grabbing the wall off of turn 4 there. He's going to duck it to the inside, grabs the apron just a little bit. That car is sideways and not handling well. But yeah, Evan Janik, just looking through the stats this season, it really has been quite the run for Evan Janik. 22 races over the season, 18 top 5s for driver number 71, 20 top 10s, an average start of third position, an average finish of 4th, and Chris, 5 wins for that driver of the number 71 car over the course of this season. He's got to be a favorite for the championship, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he definitely is probably the favorite. There's a couple drivers that I think could challenge him, notably the number 84 of Jacob Cochran, who won last week. But yeah, I definitely look at him. He's got the numbers. He's got the racing pedigree. He's got 5 wins on the season, like you said, Ellis, and I think that, it very well could have been 10, 5 more wins on top of those 5, with as fast as he's been this season. Just some misfortune that has, taken him out of some races and taken him out of contention in others. Yeah, is Harold Tucker loose right in front of him on the apron? Hold on to it, Harold.
Whoa, one car into the wall, but boy, that car, you never want to see the complete...
Oh, we got trouble.
Big crash down the back straightaway. Several cars going to be involved in that, collected down into turn 3. That's Evan Janik, Alex Pollock from the front, and a handful of other cars. Joshua Gillen might have gotten involved in that as well. And boy, they're trying to clear the scene right now. Alex Pollock, get back up onto the track. I believe that 92 is going to have a quick repair left. Janik might have one of those as well. It's the caution that I believe Harold Tucker and Derek Jewett needed, but I think Derek Jewett might get the lucky dog on that one. Let's see if we can't find out what happened. Bump drafting gone wrong, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of cars got hung in the outside wall, Ellis. The 92, and I think maybe the 8 tagged the wall as well. Several cars tagged the wall off of turn 2. And then, it looked like to me that Adam Holston was just going to try to get the 92 of Pollock going with a little bit of a bump draft, and I think that he was just offset ever so slightly, maybe to the right rear, and it hooks the 92 around into the outside wall. There's that number 8 machine of Alex Pollock, and he received a lot of damage in that crash right here. We're going to go back and right on board right here with Pollock, and here they are right in front. That's the 84 of Cochran in front. And both those drivers tagged the wall, and the drivers behind them hit the wall too. And he was just trying to get him going, Ellis, and that collected Caleb Hunt, Evan Janik involved as well. Some very, very unfortunate circumstances for some of these drivers up here at the front.
Now, I want to ask, 36 laps on those tires, how much of a role do you think the worn tires very well might have played in how that car took that bump from Adam Holston, how Alex Pollock, how that car was handling?
Probably pretty significant, Ellis, because I don't think that we've had a run this long the entire race from, a green flag run at least. We've seen some cautions in those stages, and that's the longest they've been on these Goodyear Eagles all night. So I think it definitely could have played a role. What this does, Ellis, is it sets us up. We were talking about a possible green flag pit stop to close out this race. This is going to get these drivers to the checkered flag on the tank of fuel right here as we're approaching 36 laps to go from Atlanta.
Big moment there has put us under caution. Several playoff contenders, including Joshua Gillen, Alex Pollock, Adam Holston, Evan Janik, all involved in a lap number 98 collision that's put us under caution for the 6th time tonight. You're watching a couple cars make their way down pit road. That's Derek Jewett and Christian Barnes. Derek Jewett going to be the lucky dog recipient as far as I can tell. Holston and Reggie Kine both given EOL penalties there by race director John Ullman. We'll try to figure out if we can't see what that was for. Got a couple updates for Joshua Gillen fans. They're asking about the damage on that number 10. I think he might be okay. I know he didn't take his quick repair, which tells me he might be feeling okay in that number 10. It doesn't look like he took it, though, on my end. Does it look like he took it to you, Chris?
I don't think so. He was in the pit stall for 41 seconds, so that tells me that he was getting it fixed the old-fashioned way. And, it doesn't look too bad. It looks like the Baja Blast machine is in good shape. Several of these drivers, Ellis, chose not to take to not use quick repair either because they don't have it or they're trying to save it. Adam Holston still has a lot of damage to the back bumper of the number 8 machine. Looks like the 92, Alex Pollock, the 92 is now rolling off the pit lane. He has fallen one lap down because they were trying to get that damage fixed. And it's still a fair bit of damage to the number 92. So, this is definitely going to shake up things right here in this race.
Shaking up things indeed. Jacob Cochran scored as your leader. Evan Janik scored in second place. Folks, we're going to take a moment to hear from our partners who help put up these races on and bring them to you every single week. AmSoil. We're going to hear from AmSoil, and that's the second place car sponsor of Evan Janik. Let's go ahead and hear from them. We'll be right back in a moment. You're not going to miss a single thing. Back here live in Atlanta, you're looking trackside working the 6th caution of the evening. Not going green quite yet. Driver's going to be lining up here shortly to get stacked up for the restart. It's going to be about a 33-lap shootout from Atlanta. Race number 2 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series Playoffs. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and producer Johnny Rapp in the Slingshot TV booth tonight. Super happy that you have joined us, folks. If you found us at the right time. Things are about to heat up and get even more interesting than they have been all night long. We're in the pay window. Drivers going to be able to make it the rest of the way on the fuel and on the tires that they have, meaning it is going to be wild for 33 laps. Drivers doing everything they can to lock themselves in the playoffs, needing a win. We're going to get a single file restart here, I believe. I was mistaken. Everyone's choosing the inside right now. There we go. The 84 brings us underway tonight. For the 7th time, we're green flag racing in Atlanta. Evan Janik going to be 2nd, followed by Casey Bristow's worked his way up to 3rd position. Zach White not too far behind. About 3 car lengths separate 1st to 2nd, and the same can be said back from 2nd to 3rd position. But Evan Janik closes the gap quickly. He wants that lead. He smells blood in the water. He's trying to draw a draft off the back of that number 84 as they sail their way down into turn 3.
Yeah, what a recovery from Casey Bristow tonight. We saw him spin earlier. He's going to look to the inside of Evan Janik right here. A great run for that number 7 Toyota. Looking underneath Janik. Janik hooked up on the outside right here with Jacob Cochran, the race leader. Meanwhile, on the inside lane, Casey Bristow's got a little bit of help back there coming in the form of Zach White and Douglas Wasaki.
Zach White and Douglas Wasaki in the top 5 picture for the first time in a while tonight. That green and white number 11 looking like he's got some speed in the late stages here at Atlanta. Sends into turn number 3 side by side with Adam Holston. Wasaki holding a pretty wheel as they come off of turn 4. That's a battle right now for the 5th position. Holston looks to have won it this time with the momentum shifting to the outside. Caleb Hunt makes the pass as well.
Yeah, put that number 84 machine clear right now with a... Oh, as Janik tags the wall off of turn 2, but he does not overcorrect. And everybody's able to avoid him right there. That could have been disastrous right there off of turn 2. Everybody does a nice job right here as those 2 cars are going to climb the banking again right here. And now the numbers are on that inside lane right here and put Bristow clear to the lead.
The 7 to the lead for the first time tonight. Casey Bristow, amazing recovery from being sideways earlier, is now up to the lead. Adam Holston not too far behind. Caleb Hunt, that 78 machine, he's the first car lap down, vying for the lucky dog position and a chance to get back on the lead lap, meaning a chance to win. But look at that outside shot out of a cannon. Evan Janik with a big push to Jacob Cochran as they head down into turn number 3.
Yeah, these 2 right here don't have a lot of help right here on the outside lane. Looks like they've got it coming in the form of Gavin Henson. But these drivers right here trying to do everything they can to push clear of Casey Bristow. Bristow holding strong right there without a lot of help from Adam Holston. Holston having trouble getting to the rear bumper of the number 7 Ellis. It seems like the drivers on the inside have a little bit more of a difficult time getting to the rear bumper of the driver in front of them than maybe the outside lane does. I think that's a momentum thing, but it also might be the damage on the rear of that number 8 machine. Not sure if it's affecting the speed or the handling of Adam Holston's car.
Yeah, it is maybe the damage coming into play just a little bit. Look at Evan Janik move down the inside. It upsets the front end of that 7 once again, wiggling on the track. Several drivers struggling with handling, having to make evasive maneuvers. Bristow had to react. Jacob Cochran now playing defense, trying to get back up to the lead to work his way around the 71 of Evan Janik, who made quite an aggressive maneuver there. But hey, we're 28 laps from the finish of this race. We're in the final 5th of the race, and Janik is now racing like we've seen him race all season long. 5 wins. Looking for number 6 tonight is driver 71, now on lap 108 of 135. This one's going to come down to the wire.
It definitely is, and yeah, he got a little bit high right there again off of turn 2. Seeing that to be a little bit of a trouble spot right here for Janik as he has slipped a couple times. He's really high up the hill right here in 3 and 4. Also, these cars are not stuck to the track. They are having a difficult time on both ends of the speedway, and Evan Janik going to fall back to the 4th spot behind Casey Bristow. maybe looking to regroup to make another charge back up there towards the front.
Casey Bristow doing his best to get back up to the front from third position now. Gavin Henson, what a recovery from the driver of the 39. We've seen him in multiple incidents tonight, really none of his own making. Doing a great job right now. Looking to the inside, maybe almost, of Jacob Cochran. He gets a big run off the corner. Big speed. These drivers going 180 miles an hour headed down into the corner. It is tough sledding for these drivers, having to make these evasive maneuvers inches away from each other at such high speeds, and they've been doing a great job all night long. Gavin Henson, update on him. He's a playoff driver currently on the inside, but almost tonight looked like it could have been really a dangerous evening for him, but great recovery from driver 39, looking like he might be positioned to get his first win of the season tonight in that number 39, currently running second. Jacob Cochran not liking the view in the mirror, just how close that 39 car is to the back bumper, but that's really no different than it's been all night long.
Yeah, and I was kind of questioning earlier of the speed that the 39 has as he looked to the inside of Jacob Cochran. I was worried about the damage to the right front affecting the handling of Gavin Henson's car. He's making me look kind of foolish right here, being up here in the second spot and putting a lot of pressure right here on the 84 of Cochran. I'm going to be curious to see if the right front can maintain the grip over the course of these final about 23, 24 laps that we have here. If he's able to maintain the speed that he's currently showing right here. But yeah, he's looking like he might be tough to handle in the closing stages.
We got people talking about Casey 757. He called a shot earlier in the race. And Brianna had mentioned that in the chat. That number 7 looking like he might be positioned, you mentioned, to pick up a win tonight. Called a shot earlier in the chat. Can he pull it off? He's in third position. Caleb Hunt, the first car, lap down. Almost contact there. You saw that wiggle, and you saw Hunt almost get to the back of the number 7 of Casey Bristow. We've kind of seen two separate packs emerging. The front two, Chris, they're breaking away in a way I haven't seen cars do all night long. That's going to be short-lived, but that was a good lap or so there where they had built a 5, 6, 7 car length lead.
Yeah, Evan Janik's trying to get close to the rear bumper right here of Adam Holson. They don't have a lot of help behind him right there, and unfortunately, I think it's going to be really difficult for Janik to push Adam Holson with all that damage the number 8 machine has on his rear bumper. Going to make it really, really tricky to try to bump draft, to try to push around this Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's staying as close as he can, but look at that. I mean, look at the job that he's got in front of him right here, and it's going to be kind of dicey to push Adam Holson here.
Back in 10th position, I'm keeping an eye on really what is a second pack here. We see this first pack, the racing is amazing, but there's a second pack that's not. Oh, Evan Janik crossed over down the bottom there. Scared me for a moment. Alex Pollock, they're trying to clear the lap car right now. Chris, this is something we've seen be a little bit more difficult than anticipated tonight, getting by these lap cars. Everyone does it just fine there, but what this very well might do is allow Joshua Gillen to get back up to the back bumper of Reggie Kime. He's been able to hang with these guys for much of this run, and you see kind of these two packs that are fighting. Joshua Gillen kind of right in the middle of them. I really like where that number 10 car is positioned right now. 8th position, about 15 car lengths back from the lead pack. It's not a bad place to be. You can see he's running a similar pace as the leaders, and as they continue to run side by side, he's loving what he's seeing out of that windshield.
Yeah, he's about a second back, and I'm not sure if he is getting much toe off the drivers in front of them. It kind of enables him to be able to run probably a little bit more wide open than some of the drivers up in front of him who are dealing with a lot of dirty air. Seems like right here in the last half lap, he's really slipped back a good bit, Ellis. He slipped back about 2 or 3 more tenths. I think he was holding on to that draft, but he's lost a good bit right here in the last probably lap, unfortunately.
About 18 laps left. Gillen trying to hang on, but in front of him, it's about 9 cars in this lead pack. This has been the story since the restart just about 10 laps ago. That front row is Gavin Henson on the inside, Jacob Cochran on the outside. They've got, looks like Adam Holson in the 8 and the 7 of Casey Bristow right behind them. Meanwhile, Derek Jewett, he's a lap down. He's sitting currently in the 12th position. He's now the first car lap down. He's got that race inside a race with Caleb Hunt not too far behind him, about 2 car lengths. So multiple storylines in this front pack. Just let's take a moment to pause and reset and look at the playoff picture. Jacob Cochran, he's your leader. He's locked in to the playoffs with a win last week at Richmond. Adam Holston sit pretty good in playoffs, but he needs a win to lock himself into round 2. The same exact thing can be said about Gavin Henson, who's going to make a move for the lead down into turn 2 with a little bit of help from Casey Bristow. Some smoke right in front of those drivers, but everything looks to be okay. Henson needs a win tonight. We mentioned Casey Bristow not in the playoffs. Evan Janik, sitting pretty good, might not need a win, could have a good points night. Douglas Wasaki not in the playoffs, but look, Chris, 7th position, Reggie Kime, that last car in that pack, that blue and gold machine. This could be the upset story of the night, and I'm not saying that just because I picked that number 9 machine, but he's kind of right now on the outside of the playoffs looking in. There's got to be some urgency in the head of that number 9 driver, Reggie Kime, looking out the onboard camera right now. When do you start to go with 15 laps left, Chris? When are you comfortable telling your driver, if you're on top of the pit box as the crew chief, when are you comfortable telling him to pull the trigger and lift that final gear?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of time here. I will say you can't get through the field as quickly here as you can at, like Daytona or Talladega. You kind of got to work your way to it right here as Caleb Hunt's kind of loose right there on the inside. But I really like the race that Reggie Kime seems to be running right here. He's been very patient. He's being very patient right here. And I don't think it would be a bad idea, a bad strategy, Ellis, to maybe wait around and possibly see if these drivers in front of you are going to crash. As Evan Janik with an aggressive lane change.
Evan Henson, Casey Bristow contact. One car, Evan Janik through the grass. He bounces up and down. He's going to bring it down the apron. Can these drivers hold on to it? Several drivers sideways. We remain under green flag conditions, but it wasn't for want of trying there, Chris.
Yeah, things got really, really dicey right there between these drivers, and we might be able to go back right here and see what transpired between the number 39 and the number 7. Here's Gavin Henson leading the pack right here off of turn number 4. Yeah, and some contact. He cuts down right in front of Bristow. He saves it, but meanwhile, Evan Janik is sideways down in the grass, and I kind of missed it, so I'll go back right here to show you the job that he did keeping that thing straight. Looks like he had some contact from behind. Yes, and the checkup right there of, the crash that didn't happen. Caleb Hunt got into the back of Evan Janik, but a great job by Janik to keep that thing straight.
Evan Janik holds on to it. It's going to put him further back in the running order, now back to 8th. And let's reset it here with just about 13, now 12 laps left. That front pack you're looking at. I'm looking at the cars that are on the lead lap. The first 4, big wiggle from Adam Holston there through turns 1 and 2. The top 4 are on the lead lap. Then you've got Jewett and Hunt. They're lap down fighting for that lucky dog position. Then you have to go back to Douglas Wasaki and Reggie Kime. They're the final 2 cars in that lead pack. Those are your top 6. So really, if we were to go green the rest of the way, any of these top 6 have a shot at the win right now, folks. With just 11 laps remaining, it's anyone's guess who is going to win. Do not go anywhere. This is going to be a instant classic in just about 3 minutes time. We're likely going to have a winner in race number 2 of the playoffs for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series here on Slingshot TV. Chris, I see some momentum building on the outside as they head into turn 3.
Yeah, Adam Holston up here on the outside kind of lost his wingman earlier. He was really working well with Evan Janik. Those two were kind of committed to each other. Unfortunately, doesn't have as much help right here. He did have Caleb Hunt behind him. Hunt is going to abandon and go back down to the inside. He is still trying to get back on the lead lap, Ellis, in that number 78 machine. He's battling it out actually with Derek Jewett right in front of him to get back on the lead lap. So we got a couple lap down cars right here in the mix, like you mentioned before. Douglas Wasaki and Reggie Kime right here at the back of this thing. A couple of drivers who could be a couple of upsets tonight. Only one of them in the playoff hunt, but Douglas Wasaki also wouldn't mind spoiling the fun tonight for some of these playoff drivers.
Absolutely. Any of these drivers up here, at least on the lead lap, can win this. There's that battle for the lucky dog position, which you never know what's going to happen. That is an important battle to follow as well, because if one of those drivers were to get the lucky dog, it would put him back into the 12th position with a chance to win it. Oh, Caleb Hunt there almost draws to the quarter panel of the 45 of Derek Jewett. Kind of catches himself right in front of Adam Holston there, who has settled back into the 5th position currently. 7th car back there in line. And boy, Chris, that outside line is starting to do some work. You can see Casey Bristow move up there. We're just now 8 laps, now 7.5 laps away from this finish. In the chat, we got rooting on the 10 and the 71, telling them to work together to try to catch the rest of the field, but they're pretty far back. They're going to need the help of maybe a caution at this point. Brianna rooting for them as well. Connor talking about what a save these drivers have been doing all night. Great skills on display. We're not going to have to wait long to find out. 6.5 laps left here from Atlanta Motor Speedway in race number 2 of the Fall Creek Series playoffs. That's Jacob Cochran, last week's winner, with Gavin Henson not too far behind. Chris, how aggressive are you if you're Jacob Cochran? You're locked into the playoffs. Do you want to keep the rest of the drivers behind you from getting that win?
Oh, if I'm in position to win, Ellis, I'm willing to do a lot of things to try to, make sure I get another victory and just pad that lead even more, add some more playoff points to the mix. Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised at all to see Jacob try to be very aggressive right here. But, Jacob's also a real clean driver. We haven't seen him involved in any type of scuff-ups this season in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. So we know that he's going to be clean, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised at all to see him be aggressive. That driver in the 39, though, right behind him, he's another clean driver, but we know he's real hungry to get his first victory of the season.
Oh, yeah, I think they come up on the lap car of Alex Pollock, who's going to go to the outside. Driver's going to work their way on the inside here. Top 6 are in this lead pack. 6th place, Reggie Kime, is that blue and gold machine at the back of that frame right there. The leader, Jacob Cochran. Gavin Henson 2nd. Casey Bristow 3rd. He's the 4th car in line, right? Oh, Bristow, just as we mentioned it, commentator's curse strikes. Can they hold on to it? Caleb Hunt takes evasive action down the front straightaway apron. Everyone gathers it back up, and boy, we almost had the caution. We very well might have it as they head down into turn number 1. Everyone holds on to it. Hunt slides up the track, Chris. 33 laps on this set of tires, and you can see it in the handling of these race cars.
Yeah, they are out of control right here, and it has really broken the front pack apart right here. We have a 3-car breakaway up at the front of this thing. That's Jacob Cochran in the lead.
Caution, maybe. The 7 of Casey Bristow gets turned by Caleb Hunt. Maybe contact, maybe not. Chris, sorry to interrupt, but I thought we might have had a caution. We stay under green flag, though.
Yeah, and we're still green. We've got Gavin Henson right here with the lap car of Derek Jewett right behind him. Derek Jewett is not on the lead lap, but he could play a significant role in the outcome of this race. Will he be willing to push Gavin Henson around Jacob Cochran, or is he going to maybe line up behind the 84 in the closing stages of this thing? A big decision to be made for Derek Jewett.
A big decision to be made for Derek Jewett indeed. I'm looking through our chats. He doesn't have anyone in the room with him. Gavin Henson and Christian Barnes are teammates. Unfortunately for Henson, Christian Barnes not in that pack right now. He's going to need the help. You mentioned the kingmaker here might be that 45 of Derek Jewett, winner at Daytona, well-versed in drafting-style racetracks. Folks, we're coming to the white flag here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Conclusion incoming. Jacob Cochran, Gavin Henson, those are your top 2. Derek Jewett's there. He's going to play a role. He is not on the lead lap. The crossover. There goes the 39.
They touch.
Can they keep it out of the wall? Will Derek Jewett lift the throttle? Side by side. Cochran now. 2-car linked lead. Market 3. That might be all it took, unless Gavin Henson is able to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Look at Harold Tucker, the 79. Is he going to give a push to Henson in the 39? It's all going to be decided here in the final quarter. Chris, look out. Here comes the 39 off of turn number 4. It's going to be close. Can he get the push he needs? The answer is no. Cochran goes back to back here in the playoffs for Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. He's your winner at Atlanta. Wow, that was a close one.
Yeah, he had the run off of turn 4 coming to the white flag, Ellis, and he wanted to take that run, and they just got together a little bit right there, just past the start-finish line, and that put Derek Jewett on his inside, talking about Gavin Henson's inside, and once they got side by side, it just made it a lot easier for Jacob Cochran to hold on to this thing.
What a phenomenal finish, Chris. I honestly, I wasn't saying it, but I had counted Gavin Henson out, though. But Harold Tucker, man, he has to. I think Gavin Henson, although he didn't walk away with a win, he owes that man a steak dinner after that push he got from him in the final half lap there that almost sent him to victory lane. Watching that number 84 do his burnouts right now, folks. We're going to take a moment to collect our breaths. We're going to hear from our partners at Whiplash SimCams, bringing you all the great camera shots you see here, operated by producer Johnny, doing a great job. We're going to catch our breaths. We're going to hear from Whiplash, and then we're going to get these drivers who finished in the top 3 into the booth so you can hear their take on what you just saw tonight. We'll be back in just a moment. Back here live at Atlanta Motor Speedway, folks. You just saw an amazing finish here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Now it's time to hear from the drivers who were in part of that finish. We're going to hear from third place finisher Reggie Kime first. We'll bring him into the booth. Reggie Kime, driver number 9. It's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy.
Hey, yeah. How you guys doing?
Oh, man, we are catching our breath after a thrilling finish. I know you didn't have the best view of it back there, but you finished third, man. Congratulations. I picked you as my winner tonight. You almost delivered on it. We almost had Kime time, but third place is pretty good considering your position, kind of your mentality in the playoffs. Before we get to that, talk to us about just how difficult these cars were to drive out there tonight and describe the level of aggressiveness you saw on the track out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, regretfully, early in the race, the one got in a wreck, and he just backed up, and he destroyed the front end of my car. So it just took forever to come back from that. I accidentally did the fast repair earlier than I wanted to, so thankfully I survived till the end. But no, I mean, yeah, it's just this patience towards the end and try to get yourself in a spot. When somebody broke loose or anything, just try to let them catch it and not get that big one and get us all damaged. So just try to survive. That's what I tried to do tonight.
Oh man, you did. You brought it to third place. Now, man, we're looking at the playoff picture. Currently, you are situated in the you came into this race 11th out of 12, right there on the outside looking in. This is going to do wonders. I don't have a live updated point standings, but next week it's going to be the final race of round number 2. I'm just trying to find out, looking at my schedule, where we are headed to. Do you know the Roval? All right, let's talk about it. What do you make of your chances at the Roval? What do you got to do there to get into the playoffs, my friend?
Survive. I haven't driven the Roval on iRacing. I mean, all these tracks are completely different than what they were on, the console racing. So I'm just going to have to learn that track. And I know there's going to be the guys that are going to be fast, like Evan. I expect Barnes to be fast. And whoever else. I know there's some other guys that are really good on those road courses. I think Andrew Allen, if he races. So, but yeah, no, I'm just going to try to do a good point race and see if I can sneak into the next round.
All right, man. We'll be watching for you at the Roval. Congrats. Performance of the season so far tonight for you, Reggie. Great job. You got any shout-outs before we let you go celebrate it?
Well, I'll throw a shout-out to my friend's business I sometimes run on my car, Show It Off. I'll also throw a shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast and doing a good job, and I can't wait to watch it tomorrow. So and also Mystic and everybody in Race Chat 1. I mean, we try to race with sorry, I can't talk. Race with each other and try to be clean and not kill each other's playoff chances. So.
Man, it was fun watching you out there tonight. Might have felt like you were in a bouncy house based on how difficult it was out there. We'll shout out
Axe
to
throwing.
show it off, yeah. Well, man, enjoy that third place finish. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll talk to you next week at the Roval.
All right, thanks, and you guys have a good one.
You too, man. All right, so that was third place Reggie Kime. Gavin Henson, Chris, he's going to be in the booth. I'm going to let you take it away.
Gavin Henson, our second place finisher. This is the Slingshot booth. Do you have a copy, bud?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Gavin, we thought that tonight was going to be the night. You were sitting in position right there with a little bit of right front damage, but you had that thing in good position right there coming to the white flag. We saw you try to make your move on the 84 of Jacob Cochran. Looking back on this, we saw a little bit of contact into the outside wall going into turn 1. Is there anything maybe that you wish you would have done differently in the closing stages of this thing to possibly bring home that checkered flag?
I don't know. Maybe not hit him and hit the wall. Maybe that would have fared better for me. I don't know. I'm more surprised at how I continue to choke races, but that's just something I got to work on myself. But yeah, I don't know what I could have done different. It worked out perfect considering. I got junked 30 laps into the race, 20 laps into the race. So I'm happy to be second, but I mean, I want to win. That's what I'm here for. I want to win, and I continue to not win. So I don't know what I could have done different, other than just not screw up.
Well, man, keep that head up because you were fast all night long tonight and overcame a lot of adversity. We saw you with that near miss with Casey Bristow. You tagged the outside wall, and you were still able to recover from that, even with some pretty significant right front damage. We're heading to the Roval next week, and you got yourself in a pretty good points position right here. You definitely, brought home a good amount of them tonight. How do you feel about your chances at the Roval next week? Is that something that you're looking forward to, or something that that you're maybe kind of got circled on that calendar as like maybe this might be a trouble spot?
I don't really have a track that's really a trouble spot unless we're going to go to a dirt track. So, yeah, I mean, at road courses, I've ran from like 3rd to 5th or 6th, something like that. So I'm fairly confident that I'll be able to run good enough to get into the next round, and then, we can, tackle that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel good about the Roval. I don't think I'm going to win because, this year there's just 1 or 2, 3 guys that are they're really good. They got the road course figured out as far as, and with the car too. So, and I'm not as practiced as they are. So I'm just kind of going off of, past experiences on Gran Turismo or whatever else. So yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned about the Roval though.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you tackle those right and left-hand turns at Charlotte next week. Before we let you go celebrate this great second place finish, do you have any shout-outs?
Shout out my race team, Waterforce Racing. Christian had a good run going. And shout out to you guys. You guys do a great job at broadcasting. So I want to give you guys a shout out, you and Ellis. You guys do a fantastic job. Love watching these things back. So I appreciate you guys.
Well, hey, man, we appreciate you. Appreciate you putting on a great show, and we're looking forward to seeing you battling it out and possibly put that thing in victory lane next week. That's Gavin Henson, our second place finisher. Great run tonight, bud. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so you heard from second place. Now that leaves us with the winner, Jacob Cochran, Mr. Back-to-Back in the playoffs. Jacob Cochran, it's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot Tower. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, we're going to nickname you Mr. Back-to-Back. Maybe we can name you Mr. Three-Peat next week at the Roval. We'll get to that in a moment, but congrats on that win tonight. It was earned in the final closing laps. This was a wild race. It did not let up all night long for nearly 2 hours. You guys were putting it out there all on the line. These cars were fun to drive, but also it sounded like they were a handful the further along the runs went.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was pretty rough. The bottom, I didn't like the bottom. The bumps down there are just too unpredictable. So any chance I got, I would always try to go to the top. And I felt like I had more control of the race up there too. I was getting a lot more momentum coming off the corners, and could kind of stretch it a little bit down the straightaways. So, but yeah, these things were they were fun, but man, they were on edge.
On edge is putting it lightly, my friend. Let's walk through that final lap or two when the 39 made the move. He was pretty upset, not with you, but with himself. He kind of thought he choked it away, but you guys both did a good job of not crashing there. Walk us through kind of what you were seeing in the mirror and what your brain was telling you as y'all crossed the start-finish line for the last lap.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Gavin was gonna make a run. We worked really, really good together, and I hated it came down to that. I wish we would have been side by side at the start-finish line, but I knew he was backing up, kind of mid 3 and 4 to try to get a run. So out of 4, I started kind of dragging my brakes just try to slow that down a little bit. I think I did in a way, but he still had a pretty huge run to the outside. I got to go back and watch it. I don't really know. I know we got together, but I don't really know what happened. But I mean, we were just racing for the win at the end of the day. So, I know there's no hard feelings there.
Yeah, man, it was fun to watch on TV, and he was complimentary of you as well, and it was great to watch. Next week, you don't have to worry about making your way into round number 2 because you're locked in with 2 wins in a row here. You're going to be at the Roval next week? You're gonna be here?
I'll be there. I may not get much TV time, but I'll be there.
Yeah, sounds like maybe the right-handers aren't your favorite. I want to look at your stats. You might be able to tell me for the road courses, but I can certainly tell you how it's gone this season for you.
Pretty bottom of the barrel, I would say.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you based on what the 2 numbers I've got are P21 and P19 at the Glen and Road America. Those are what I've got for you right now. So you're at least honest about road courses not being your best, but we've seen you in rare form, man. You're kind of peaking here at the right time. You never know what might be in store for us at the Roval. It's kind of a wild card of road courses, so to speak. So don't be too hard on yourself, and don't count yourself out. Before we let you go start practicing for next week, got any shout outs?
Yeah, I want to shout you guys out up in the SRM booth. You guys always do a great job every week, and we all appreciate it, I know. Shout out my team, Aaron SB Racing. Aaron tonight got cut short a little bit tonight, but he won the truck race last night, so he got his. But and shout out everybody that I was working with. I know Gavin, I was working with him. He was really, really good to work with. Alex Pollock. Evan Janik, Adam Holston for a little bit, and I'm sure I'm missing a couple others, but that was a lot of fun racing up there, and and kind of us guys up there, we really raced clean, I thought, and that was a lot of fun. And then thanks to Fall Creek Plumbing, Brett Wren for sponsoring the series, and Brandon Willard for the league.
Man, you did a great job out there.
One more.
Yep.
One more. Downtown Auto Sales on my sponsor on the car. Thankfully, this is my uncle that owns the car lot, and we're born and raised in Georgia. And he told me before the race, you got to win your home track. And I was like, I don't know about a plate track, but we did it.
Love it, man. Good job for the Georgia boy tonight. And that number 84, that's your winner, Jacob Cochran, Mr. Back-to-Back in the first 2 races of the playoffs. We'll see you for the 3rd one next week, sir.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too. All right, Chris, Johnny, that was quite the show we just saw. Hope everyone enjoyed what they saw tonight. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Going to walk you through the running order, the final results of the race tonight real quickly. Right now, we heard from your top three, Cochran, Henson, and Kime, but fourth place, Douglas Wasaki, one of the best runs of the season for that number 11 machine. The 8 car of Adam Holson finishes 5th. That's going to do wonders for his bid to make it into round number 2. Casey Bristow, a couple of incidents, but fast car for that dirt driver, the number 7 tonight. He finishes 6th. Evan Janik finishes 7th in that 71. He's looking for a win next week on the road course to lock himself into the playoffs round number 2. Joshua Gillen, a good points night for the driver number 10. Don't be surprised if we see Gillen kind of maybe get closer to that cutoff line, working himself into round number 2. Christian Barnes finishes 9th in that number 27. And then Zachary King finishes 10th in the number 1 machine. Chris, I'll let you take the rest.
Derek Jewett, we saw him up there in the midst of the battle for the win, a lap down. He's going to finish in the 11th spot. Caleb Hunt fought for the entire race, it seemed like, to try to get his lap back. He's going to have to settle for 12th tonight. Harold Tucker in the Sofa News machine will finish in 13th. Zach White wound up starting from the pole position after some drivers received EOLs. He's going to finish 14th. Alex Pollock, what could have been tonight for the driver of the 92. He was very fast, led a lot of laps tonight, led that outside lane. He's going to finish in 15th. Stephen Gill will finish in 16th. David Wallace brings that 08 machine home in the 17th position. Justin Miller in his series debut is going to bring it home in 18th. Aaron Espy, he was up there early on trying to give some pushes to that inside lane. He was very fast, got caught up in crashes, going to finish in the 19th spot. David Moyer finished in the 20th position, and rounding out the field will be Brett Wren in the Fall Creek Plumbing machine, finishing in 21st.
Johnny, I know your driver, Aaron Espy, your pick, he was strong early on, didn't live to see the end of the night. But what'd you make of what you saw out on the track tonight? Would you want to be part of that?
Well, I am not the biggest fan of the new Atlanta, but I do think that these drivers did a great job out there. There's some crazy wrecks, but man, I can tell you that I've been a part of a few of them myself, and most of them on my own doing. So seeing that side-by-side action all night long was great. Yeah, definitely unfortunate for SB coming home 19th. I mean, man, he was running up there without that wreck that took him out. Maybe he had a chance at it, but yeah, so it's next week.
And you were a part of a great race last night on Slingshot TV for Slingshot Racing League in the Stand Up Fight Series. Congrats to you on a good run last night. Folks, if you're watching the replay or you're watching live, do yourself a favor. Go check out that Stand Up Fight Series invitational race from Old Atlanta last night. You can find it on our YouTube channel. It was a wild one with a wild conclusion. So go check that out. Speaking of wild conclusions, we're ending round number 1 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series playoffs next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway, at the Roval at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You can catch that next Thursday, but just in case you need to get your fix between now and then, we have you covered. Monday night is the beginning of a new series, the UD Awards ARCA series from Slingshot Racing League. They're doing their season opener at Daytona. Johnny, you and Justin Wiltz are going to be on the call for that one. That is going to be an amazing race. I can't wait to race in it. And Chris and I are going to try to go out there and run up front and maybe get the win. We'll see what happens. And then Wednesday, we've got the Stand Up Fight Series Invitational, race number 3 from Bristol. And Chris, I know you're going to be a part of that one. You've won a race or two at Bristol. You looking forward to that race?
Yeah, always looking forward to racing at Bristol. And yeah, we've got a lot of drivers in the Stand Up Fight Series Invitational Cup, and 37 cars last night at Atlanta. If 37 of them show up at Bristol, it's going to be wild. But, we made it, all the way through that race last night, but with, only one caution. So that's turning out to be a great series. And I'm very much looking forward to this week of racing here on Slingshot TV.
That Stand Up Fight Series Invitational, that is a winners and champions Invitational League with the best of the best, the Slingshot Racing League. So those races are awesome. Sky and Sal and producer Kobe do a great job on those calls on Wednesday night. We got you covered, folks. We mentioned already Brianna Fondren. She won the chat games tonight. She's going to take home that Panini NASCAR trading card pack that could include an autographed driver card or a piece of a driver suit, one of those relic cards potentially. So we're going to do this again. We got die-cast giveaways. We do trading card pack giveaways. We love to get back to all you folks who tune in and give us your valuable time and make these races even more enjoyable to call, folks. We enjoyed it tonight live from Atlanta for the Bennett Transportational Logistics 208. You notice we're not calling it Echo Park Speedway. It's always going to be Atlanta in our hearts down south, folks. Georgia was on our minds tonight, but next week we're headed to the Roval for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Y'all have a good week. Check out the races in between. We'll see y'all later. Bye for now, folks.